just a game. They're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello. And good morning, everybody. Welcome into the show. First and foremost, we'll get to this in the 10 o'clock hour, but congratulations to all you Michigan Wolverine fans out there. Big Ten champions, at least a share of the regular season. In the near future, I'd imagine just outright champions of the Big Ten for the first time since 2021, 16th time overall. We'll get to that a little bit later on. I'm guessing the 10 o'clock hour. Let's start here, though. NFL Combine's going on this week. We get to hear from Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, Petzing, Shepard yesterday. It was an eventful day. You know, the Combine gives us a lot of information, not just about the players and how fast they can run in a straight line and how high they can jump, but it lets us know about their character. It gives us an opportunity to hear from Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. Yesterday, Brad Holmes, during his press conference, made it pretty clear, hey, when it comes to the Graham Glasgow situation, when it comes to the Taylor Decker situation, we got to know things before the new year happens, which is March 10th for the NFL calendar year. We got to have a lot of things sorted out by then. Hours later, we find out Taylor Decker, through his Instagram, is coming back. 11th season with the Detroit Tigers. And my reaction was as followed. Boo. This has divided the Lions fans. There's a gap between the Lions fans right now, like the gap between Michael Strahan's two front teeth. This is separating the Lions fans into two different categories. There's those who are happy Taylor Decker's back, and I think Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions fit into this group. Holmes made it very clear. Whether or not Taylor Decker's back, they're going to try to add a tackle in free agency because, well, Dan Skipper's gone, and they don't trust Giovanni Manu to save their lives. And yeah, it took us 2 minutes today to talk about Giovanni Manu. Look, Taylor Decker's coming back. There's one way to look at that. 33-year-old veteran coming in. You no longer have to draft a tackle in the first round. I view it as, okay, guy that's had a ton of injury problems the last year and a half, guy who's regressed and is a year older and has been contemplating retirement and has a ton of these injuries that don't seem like they're going away at any point, that's the guy that we're back? What happens when week 5 rolls around and they're going to Germany and Taylor Decker's not even traveling with the team because of an injury? I need an insurance plan. Here's the other factor. Taylor Decker, if they were to just cut him after March 1st, $16.4 million they'd get in freed up salary cap for just this season. That doesn't even include 2027. So you're telling me I can cut him, get an extra $16 million, and go find his replacement at pick 17? What's the holdup? The holdup is he wants to come play for the Lions again. He doesn't want to retire. Okay, then force him to. Bye-bye. You're cut. Of mice and men, Lenny, bring him out to Allen Park and say, oh, look at that. Cut him. Done. I don't want him a part of this team anymore. The Lions' offensive line was bad last year, guys. It's the number one reason that the Lions did not live up to expectations. They could not run the ball on 3rd and 1. That's what made them a super team for the 2 years prior to that. They were unstoppable in 3rd and short situations, 4th and short situations. Wasn't the case last year. Taylor Decker, despite playing significantly less snaps, gave up one more pressure than he did the year prior. To be fair, he was a lot better in the sack department, but you could feel it when he went up against these top-tier edge rushers. He got dominated. If we're going to get dominated in that department, I'd rather it be by someone who's got some future rather than someone whose best ball is behind them. You're picking at pick 17. If I'm the Lions, I don't plan at picking that high again. I would be taking a tackle here and saying goodbye to Taylor Decker. The issue is the Lions will not do it. And here's why they won't do it. Because if Brad Holmes were to cut Taylor Decker, he'd be admitting to a mistake. The mistake of paying him the ridiculous contract that he got 2 years ago. Now, I was at training camp the day that he got that extension. I was there in Allen Park, and everyone on the sidelines was shocked. I was just a kid at that time, honestly. I'm down there. I have no idea what's going on. I'm looking at all the people that I'm reading their stuff on a daily basis. We got our guy Jeremy Reisman. We got Justin Rogers. And I'm like, oh, my God. Like, what's happening? Taylor Decker just got extended. And I told someone, I don't even remember who it was. Might have been Pouncey. I told them they're going to regret this. Why are they paying him? This is unnecessary. And that started a trend of unnecessarily paying your players if you're the Lions. Now, revisionist history, like you can look back at it and see the mistakes are a lot more clear. Ali McNeil. That looks like a contract that is damn near impossible to live up to. If you're Ali McNeil, he's not only got to be better than he was last year, he's got to be better than he was in 2024 because that was a projection contract. Hey, your career's gone up and up and up in a linear way. We think you're going to continue to do this, so we're going to pay you early. And guess what happened? He got hurt, and now his career is no longer linear. Now he doesn't only have to be better than last year, but he's got to start playing like a Pro Bowl defensive tackle, or just like that, he's not worth the money. Kerby Joseph. Highest paid safety in all of football. Is he ever going to be the same again? I don't know if you guys heard Dan Campbell talk about it yesterday. Not the most promising update in the world, to say the least. So between the Joseph contract, the McNeil contract, and the Decker contract, I look at those, and at the time, it's nice to celebrate them. Oh, Brad Holmes always figuring out ways to pay his guys. There's no sort of contract disputes with this organization. Healthy as it gets, everybody gets paid, keep the guys happy. Now we're getting to a point where it's starting to catch up to the Lions in a big way, where they don't have as much money to spend in free agency, where we're going to start wondering about who should or who shouldn't get paid in these upcoming draft classes, or the ones that have happened the last year or so. Do they have enough money to pay Branch and Campbell and Laporta and Gibbs? TBD. It would help if McNeil wasn't under this ridiculously large contract, or if Joseph wasn't. And I'm not saying those guys didn't earn it, but this is a hard business. This is an NFL operation. Not every single player that you have can get paid. Otherwise, it's going to come bite you in the butt. And now we start to look at it as some of the contracts that were handed out. And it's like, oh, was that the right decision after all? Taylor Decker, paying him, I can tell you for a fact, that was the wrong decision. Because now the Lions are put in this situation where he's like, congratulations, I'm not going to retire. I'm back in Detroit. And all of us sit here and go, There's two different groups. There is the group that's excited that he's back. And I think Dan Campbell fits into that. And I think Brad Holmes fits into that. Then there's me. Then there's a lot of Lions fans that aren't going to just blind eye turn away from the fact that this was a 33-year-old last year who was injured every single week, every single practice. Not one practice report came out where he was off of it. I'm all of a sudden supposed to think that that's going away? And then there's the audience out there that thinks, well, why not just take your offensive tackle at 17 anyway and let him develop? I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. I'm not letting my first-round pick just sit on the bench and do nothing. It's one thing to draft a wide receiver or corner or Tyleik Williams to sit on the bench and develop and rotate him in. There's no rotating offensive lineman. You're either the starter or you're not playing unless someone else gets hurt. There's no chance in hell I'm drafting someone at 17 and then having him sit behind Taylor Decker. What I'm doing, my favorite game, I tell you guys all the time, my favorite game is called If I Was Brad Holmes. Goodbye, Taylor Decker. Here's $16.4 million to spend in free agency. and draft your next offensive tackle. I don't even get how this is up for debate. This seems as clear as day to me. But for some reason, there's just as big as an audience out there, and I think Brad Holmes, our GM of the Lions, is in this group that thinks, yes, we got our guy Deck back. Longest tenured player, embodies everything it means to be a Detroit Lion. He's got that grit. He's got that heart. He's everything we stand for. It's as clear as day, guys. Move on. You had a trash offensive line last year. Why are you trying to retain pieces from it? It's time to move forward, not hang on to the past. Hanging on to the past would have been holding on to Kevin Zeitler. Then we can have a different conversation. That's not what you did. You decided to move forward and go with some young guys. And honestly, Tate Ratledge did a fine job filling in last year. But you look at that left side and the center group, we know Glasgow's getting cut. No chance he's back. There's an extra $5.5 million. Now get rid of Decker and draft someone at 17. I can't believe this is even up for debate. It's making me crazy. It's February 25th and the Lions are driving me crazy. Why? Because Brad Holmes is unwilling to admit his mistake by cutting him. I can tell you I'd like to be him to be cut. I can tell you it's a smart thing to do. Do I actually think it's going to happen? No, I don't. Because I don't think Brad Holmes is willing to do it. Because he'd be admitting a mistake and he'd be getting rid of someone who fits that culture and that grit and has that heart and embodies what it means to be a Lion. Longest tenured Lion. Congratulations on an awesome career with the Lions, Taylor Decker. I'd be done. It sounds like I hate the guy, like I have personal beef with him. I don't, but it's just a smart thing to do from a GM standpoint. Sometimes you got to make hard decisions. Brad Holmes isn't making hard decisions at all. Pays everybody, tries to make everybody happy, and now you're in a situation where there's 3 really questionable contracts on the team between Taylor Decker, who still has another year after this, by the way, Lee McNeil, who's just now starting in his contract extension. This is going to be the first year he's paid upwards of $30 million a year. Whew. And then the Kerby Joseph contract. God knows if he's ever going to play high-level football again. It's fun to pay everybody until it's not. And I feel like the Lions are creeping up to that point, which makes me think not that Brad Holmes is on thin ice with the organization, but with his fans. Because now we're about 8 months removed, or 8 months removed from what the hell are you doing, man? I mean, if we go 10 months from right now and the Lions didn't win multiple playoff games, it's all of a sudden going to be, what the hell happened? What's going on? This is now years and years in a row of just nonsense moves, whether it's the heat checks in the draft or paying all of his guys. There are some moves now to be looked at as to Brad Holmes as, hey, this is the obvious thing to do, but we can't do it because of this, or you're not doing it because of this. I think Brad Holmes is on very thin ice when it comes to the Lions fans. There's still a large portion of them that supports Holmes. And I'm ultimately one of those people. I don't want him fired. But I think we're real close to everyone kind of being like, wait, what's going on with Brad Holmes? 989-837-6125, your reaction to Taylor Decker being back. And do you think that it's the smart thing to do to just have him play that offensive tackle spot this year? I don't. He can say he's not retiring all he wants. I'd be done with him anyway. And do you think do you still support everything Brad Holmes does? I think if you do, it's a little crazy. Then I can ask you, do you trust him? Do you trust him? Classic radio topic, but that's not really where I'm at. Do you kind of understand, though, that maybe he's a little bit too make everybody happy all the time, not willing to make tough decisions? Do you see that side of Brad Holmes? 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on, Wednesday? Oh, it's Big Win Wednesday, which means thanks to our friends over at Garber Chevrolet. Got a prize to give away a little bit later on in the show. All you got to do is text in 989-837-6125. We'll get to our Mitt messages in a little bit. We'll do our giveaway in the 10 o'clock hour as well. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. As always, the 9 o'clock hour is brought to you by our friends over at Iron Stack Technologies. We talk about the game plan all the time on this show. What's Brad Holmes' game plan? Is he going to keep Decker? Is he going to get rid of him? Well, at Iron Stack Technology, they have a game plan, and that's how they approach IT. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next so you can focus on your mission instead of your technology. That's IronStack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them out at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. I think Taylor Decker coming back is a mistake for the Detroit Lions. I think keeping him around is just Brad Holmes being ignorant to the situation, that he was injured the entirety of last season, that he's going to be a year older, that he's declining in play anyway. I think 17's perfect chance to draft an offensive tackle, yet do I believe any of these things are going to happen? No, I don't. I think Decker's going to be back, and maybe they draft Vega with that 17th pick, who's the best interior prospect, and the offensive line will be better nonetheless. But I just think it's time to be done with Taylor Decker. Stop holding on to the past and move forward with it. And I think this ultimately leads us to a conversation with Brad Holmes on whether or not we think he's operating this thing in the right way, because it feels like everybody gets paid, and him cutting Taylor Decker would be admitting, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have paid him. So, Kyle, hop in wherever you want because I threw a lot out there at the first segment. I guess let's just start here. Do you think Taylor Decker should be back?
I mean, that's his decision, right? He's under contract, so it's his choice about coming back or not. Like, it's not like the Lions have...
but like they can cut him.
Sure, but here's what I think, and you brought this up in the previous segment. Like, what is the number one most important thing for the Lions next season? Like, ultimate goal, pressure, whatever it is. It's winning the Super Bowl, right? Like that's of course their number one goal. That's every team's goal, but it feels like there is a true like pressure on the Lions to go on a deep playoff run this year. Does or does not Taylor Decker make the offensive line better than it currently is? Was the offensive line better last year when Taylor Decker was there or when he was not there?
When he was there.
Right? Like I understand your philosophy behind the cap situation, and yeah, there's been some extensions given out by Brad Holmes that maybe haven't been as favorable and are going to put them in some tough spots, and they're going to have to weasel their way around trying to pay everyone who hasn't been paid yet. But at the end of the day, it's not like Taylor Decker sucks. Like that's the part that I think makes this so tough is like he still is a pretty fine left tackle. I still think him and Penei Sewell are one of, if not the best tackle, partnerships when healthy in the NFL. They're not the best, but they're certainly one of the best.
Sure, but that's a situation where it's like, hey, LeBron and JR are the best duo in the NFL.
We're not comparing
and the NBA.
Taylor Decker to J.R. Smith right now, man.
There's been a decline.
Decker's the second best guy on the O-line. Yeah, I
don't think that's true
There's been
anymore.
a decline in his play, but he's still like it's not like he's declined to the point where he's not playable.
I think Ratledge is the second best guy, just to be on the record saying that.
Plays next to Penei Sewell and just plays an easier spot than Taylor Decker has.
True. Both true.
Like the difference between Tate Ratledge and his backup and Taylor Decker and his backup is pretty substantial.
Well, that's because the backup that they drafted is Brad Holmes' pet project that ended up being a demon child in Giovanni Manu.
Demon child.
Look, I just think there's a very risky situation to where like week 5 rolls around next year and it's all of a sudden like, oh my God, Decker couldn't stay healthy again. And now they're just screwed for the entire season. Just done. It's cooked before it even starts.
Yeah, I mean, the health thing definitely is the more of a concern than the play. Like you said, we went into every single week last year like, oh, so he's just not going to practice ever. Right? Like, he's just never going to practice. And then he started actually missing games. We didn't think it was going to be something where he would for sure miss games, and then he did.
But don't those things go hand in hand? The availability and the being hurt and it lingering and allowing it to affect the play? Because I thought it did last year. I don't think he was as good.
They do, but I also think, we know how Taylor Decker went out last season. We watched his post-game media after the Lions' last game. Like, it felt like he was clear as day going to retire.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure, boys.
The writing was on the wall. Like he basically retired without saying it, and now he's back. So I have to feel that at least he's confident he's healthy enough to play another season, right? Because he talked about his health more than anybody. He talked about his health more than you and I did.
Frank Ragnow thought he was healthy enough to come back. He had
It's a really good point. Yeah, didn't know his leg had fallen off of his body. So like with Decker, he has to be confident that he can go through another season health-wise. There's no way he would do this if he didn't think so. If Frank Ragnow wasn't confident he could do it for a full season.
I don't have any doubts that he thinks he can do that. It's just a matter of what's the reality of this situation, and is he the right person to be able to make that call of like, yep, you can trust me. Because this is where Brad Holmes as the GM should be stepping in and being like, sorry, Taylor, we cannot. It's nothing against you. We loved everything that you did, but this is a business, and if we can free up the if this was $4 million, $5 million, I'm with you. Like, I think the Lions are just better off if he's there. $16.5 million to spend this year in free agency to go find yourself a center? Sign me. Like, how is this even up for debate? And then you can draft one of the offensive tackles at 17. See, 16 is so enticing to me.
Are we just guaranteeing that the fourth best offensive tackle and what is basically considered a not that strong of tackle class just going to be better than Taylor Decker in a must-win Super Bowl season? Like, that's my hold. Why are we just guaranteeing that your draft pick at 17, who is just not going to be the best tackle in the class, is going to be better than Decker?
I don't think we're guaranteeing anything, but they're like, look, the left tackle that went 31st or 32nd last year was awesome for the Chiefs. In Josh Simmons, and that's a little bit different with an injury situation, but I don't think there's a guarantee that they're better than Decker. There's also no guarantee that Decker can survive a full season.
Right. I guess it's just what are you willing to take the risk on? Because if you don't take, like in this current situation, Decker returns, you can use that pick elsewhere to help bolster up the offensive line.
Correct.
And like I don't think that's like a bad route. Like I understand the reasoning why cutting Decker or Decker just retiring, you feel like this is maybe the best route. But to think that this is in any way like bad for the Lions, I think is just wrong. This is not bad for the Lions.
I think the big picture issue that I'm seeing is becoming a little bit more clear is like, why is Decker even under contract for 2 more seasons? Like, why did he get the contract extension? And now we have to have this awkward, like, yeah, but we could have an extra $16 million if we cut him. Like, those have to be conversations that are happening internally. And when those happen, I'd imagine everyone looks at Brad and it's like, why did we even get, like, the fact that this is even a decision to make kind of tells you it's a bad contract. The Lee McNeil contract, it's like, dude, he's going to have to play. He has to be a Pro Bowler for that to even be, like, halfway to the point where you feel like it's a good contract. The Kerby contract, he's the highest paid safety in the NFL. Like, now I'm big picture-wise, this conversation gets more to the way that Brad Holmes is operating in paying everybody and making everyone happy and retaining his own guys. It's like, I don't have a problem with that methodology, that methodology overall, but did you pay 1 too many guys, 2 too many guys, 3 too many guys? Because now there's a couple contracts you can point to and be like, boy, I don't know.
Right, with the guys that you still have to pay as well.
Correct.
Like, I saw him pop on Rich Eisen's show yesterday talking about this.
Yeah, no windows. That's what he was talking about. We don't operate on windows.
Yeah, exactly. Which we've talked about that, and I do like. I think that there's an opportunity to have no windows, but there is urgency and there is pressure, and I think it's easy to say there's no windows when you like win a Super Bowl or get to one. You know, like it's easy for the Eagles to be like, we don't have a window because they've gotten one. You know, and they have a genius GM, and I think Brad Holmes gets talked about at times like he's in the mix with there, and not saying he doesn't have the potential to. But he's certainly not in that tier because of the situation and the conversation that we're having right now.
989-837-6125. Do you believe that Brad Holmes is on a little bit more thin ice than he's necessarily willing to admit with all these contracts that he's handed out that aren't looking like they're going to live up to their potential? 989-837-6125. Show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. The experts who do the job right the first time, whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, the siding looking a little tired, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
989-837-6125. You agree with Taylor Decker coming back? I don't. Let's see what you guys have to say. Again, the number's 989-837-6125. Kiki says, no, I'm not a fan of Decker coming back. I think he took several steps back and has been injury-prone the last 2 seasons. But to put McNeil and Joseph in the same category and labeling them it as reckless is short-sighted. Before the injuries last year, McNeil and Joseph, unlike Decker, were still performing at a high level. I don't disagree with you. It's just you paid Liam McNeil before you had to, and you paid Kerby Joseph before you had to. And now those don't look like great contracts, no matter how you want to spin it. You can label them as like, hey, at the time they were good contracts, but that doesn't mean that they're good right now. And, you know, like 2020 is always going to be how we look back at things. And right now, looking back at those contracts doesn't look like the right decision. Can't pay everybody early. Sometimes you got to let these things linger. And I'm not saying get into a contract dispute on purpose, but there's a reason that teams get into contract disputes. It's because it's like, we don't know if we want to do that. And then if a player gets hurt, God forbid, like it does look right on the team to not pay that person before the injury.
Yeah, and it does feel like out of all the contract extensions that have given out by Holmes, that was the one where at the time there was questions about it.
What, McNeil?
No, with Decker.
Oh, Decker. Yeah,
Because even
yeah.
McNeil's, it was like it was more so a praise of like, wow, they got this done. Like that's awesome that they paid McNeil. It felt like maybe he wasn't going to get paid. And with Kerby, it was like, man, how did they pay Kerby? This rocks. It was all positive reaction. And the Decker one was the one where you were like, whoa, like I didn't really see that coming. Like that was kind of odd. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike says, stupid take. Nice.
Yep.
When we signed McNeil and Joseph, it was widely applauded. No one could have predicted injuries, and Decker's still above average left tackle in the NFL. It was widely applauded because McNeil has gone on a linear path in his career of development. But now that there's been this like up, way tragic down with the injury, if that's what you want to say it's because of, okay, that's fine. But like it happened nonetheless. Now for him to live up to the contract of $30 million a year, it's like, oh my God, he has to play at a Pro Bowl level. And it's for him to be a Pro Bowler next year, I don't know, seems a little unlikely, even if he's significantly better than he was last year. I mean, he was just downright not that good last year, coming back from the ACL, which I think he became a little, I think when it came to the McNeil thing last year, he came back early from his ACL. But you can make all the reasoning you want. Like the opinion it's true in that unless he's a Pro Bowler, the contract just kind of doesn't really make sense. You know, it can be applauded at the time, and no one could have predicted what's going on with Joseph's knee. Except maybe you could. I don't know. That one's still such.
Could you have predicted what happened with Decker last year?
Potentially. Like, I'm not saying predict in terms of you got to do your homework if you're these teams, right, of what's going on with every single person's medical. It is a little surprising they didn't know about the Joseph knee thing because it feels like this has just been a thing his entire life, and it's just now getting worse or bad.
I mean, do they do their homework? They drafted Ennis Rakestraw in the second round, you know, like.
And Josh Pascal.
Guy's never been healthy in his life.
And Levi Wunzarike. They are not afraid to draft players with injury history by any stretch of the imaginations. Reckless, Dan says, reckless, no, but too in love with your own guys, absolutely. That might be what it is. You fall in love with the guys who fit the culture too much.
Well, is that you did this in the first segment. Like, is it a bad thing that Taylor Decker represents the Lions and the grit and they praise that? Like, why was that like a negative connotation to that? Like, is that not things that we've all like
that they're in love with their own guys?
No, that just like Taylor Decker is like, he is the Lions. He's been here his whole career. Like, he was here with the previous regime when they stunk, and he does fit like the grittiness mindset that they have. Like,
I think
you felt pretty anti that.
I think it persuades decision making on some things that become blatantly obvious, like moving on from Decker to free up the money. Just from an asset management standpoint and a cap standpoint, it makes sense to move on from him. And him fitting the culture, I think, is a little bit swaying their decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that these guys do operate more on the human side of things than on the business side of things, right? Which that's not always a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing until you start handing out contracts to everyone you think fits it. Like even the Derek Barnes is overpaid for sure. McNeil's overpaid, Joseph's overpaid, Decker's overpaid. Like I think Brad just got into a phase where it was just like, I'm paying everybody, man. I'm getting all my guys my money or their money. Well, I think I'll make sure everybody eats.
Even when we talked to Jeremy like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, whenever that was, he brought up the example of when Green Bay cut David Bakhtiari, and that was like a big deal. I mean, Bakhtiari was still good. He just couldn't stay healthy.
Guess what? Right decision.
And he never didn't even play for another team after that, right?
I think
he just ended up retiring after that. So, yeah, I mean, it's a tough decision that you have to make, especially with a guy that is so connected to not only the franchise but to the fan base. Like the fans love Taylor Decker for every reason, and he has battled through injury and fit this Lions culture his whole entire career. But you have to make tough decisions like that.
Derek says, horrible take. Injuries happen. You pay your guys full stop. Everyone has the best of hopes. That's where I'm like, we pay everybody full stop? What are we talking about? We can't pay everybody. They got to earn it. And I'm not like sitting here telling you McNeil didn't earn it, Decker didn't earn it. But like, you got to make some tough decisions. GM's not supposed to be easy. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you I could do it, obviously. But sometimes as a GM, like, you got to make some pretty tough decisions, and it feels like Brad Holmes is more of a people pleaser than a tough decision maker. Is that at least fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I don't think it's like I don't think he's a people pleaser and it's just been bad move after bad move.
No,
like,
I don't think so.
He's
He'd
made
be
a ton
fired if it was bad move.
He's made a ton of awesome moves. There's just been some questionable ones where it was like maybe it was a little bit of heat checky. You know, like I've signed all these guys to extensions that have really worked out. We look back on the St. Brown, Sewell, and Goff one that all got done at the same time. We were like, man,
the Goff the Amon-Ra contract looks incredible right now.
Yeah,
incredible,
totally.
And the thing with the Brad Holmes decisions that we look back and question now is like to one of those texters' points. Like at the time, they were celebrated contracts by fans, but like for every contract that you gave out, in the back of everyone's head, it's like, okay, wow, they've paid everybody. Like, at what point
does we paying Gibbs?
Yeah, like all these conversations still.
Laporta?
So yeah, it was celebrated when McNeil got paid, but like looking back at that, do you wish you would have held off? Yeah. Do you wish you would have held off of Decker? Yeah. And for one reason or another, ACL, the knee that's going on, like wrong decision nonetheless. That's where I think we get a little bit confused, where it's like, oh, well, at the time it was a good thing. Okay, but when you look back upon everything, did it actually end up being the right move? Like, for those two, no. For Decker, I guess still TBD, but we'll see what ends up happening. Couple more texts. Justin says, your take on these early contracts and length of the contracts completely go against your Scooble contract opinion. Scooble could get hurt tomorrow. Yeah, but there's no salary cap in baseball yet.
Also, everyone could get hurt tomorrow.
Correct.
I could get hurt leaving here.
Don't. That would be bad.
That would be bad.
One more text. This one is from unnamed. I get it both ways. However, a healthy Decker is better than healthy rookie, in my opinion. Look at Will Campbell, top 5 pick. They got his butt kicked in the Super Bowl.
I agree with this text as far as like, yeah, there's a ceiling play with a rookie. Like a rookie could be better, but I think that just the odds are better that if you have healthy rookie, healthy Decker for a season, Decker will be better next year. And the Lions need whatever is best at left tackle next year. And I think that just is what their best option is. He just has to be healthy, of course, which that's the big part.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. Live here on 100.9 The Mitt, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button on the YouTube side of things if you have not already. All right, we'll hit the news when we come back here on the show. Again, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And quick message to all the parents out there, parents of athletes specifically. If you've got kids getting ready for spring or summer sports, Great Lakes Spine and Medical has you covered with sports physicals. They make the process fast, easy, and stress-free. No long waits, no bouncing all over town. Plus, you're not just checking a box. Their medical team actually looks at overall movement, flexibility, and injury prevention to help athletes stay healthy all season long. Whether it's school sports, travel teams, or just rec leagues, Great Lakes Spine and Medical is a great location option to get it done right and on time. Appointments easy to schedule. Get those physicals done today and get ready for game day.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, a lot of Lions talk early on. Let's see what else is going on in the sports world today. Kyle Sand will take it away with the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, let's hit the news.
Sure.
A lot going on in this week. A lot of basketball, college basketball stuff going on this week as well. Let's first take a look at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. You knew I was doing this, Ben. Survivor 50 starts today.
Okay.
And there's a watch party here in Midland at Nord Social if you want to come watch the Survivor 50 premiere. 50 seasons of television, man. That's why it's the world's greatest show. And if you want to check out anything else that's going on in the community, just head to maxlovesmidland.com/community-calendar. Okay, Pistons Thunder tonight at 7:30. No Shea. No Jalen Williams. Pistons should just get this dub, right? Right?
I think so. 7.5 point favorites. A little bit surprising. Yeah, I would imagine they're getting a win today, especially after a loss against San Antonio on Monday. But you never know. Thunder still have a pretty good defense, even without all those top guys. I think Shea is. The fact that he's missing this game, like, I don't know, kind of feels like they're ducking the smoke a little bit coming to Detroit. They don't want any of this. I don't blame them. They're tough as nails. Even with a loss, San Antonio took a couple big hits.
They were going at Wemby, man.
They were going at him. Physical.
I haven't asked you about that. How was the game, by the way? I haven't talked to you since
Incredible.
You went.
Is watching that guy in person, I feel like my life is a little bit closer to complete after that.
Seems like a stretch.
Lions Super Bowl probably next, and then I'm good. I got to see Wemby.
Watching Wemby and Lions Super Bowl
Yeah.
are the two things.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on, Michigan last night, we're going to talk about them a little bit coming up as well, but they win at least a share of the Big Ten regular season title for the first time since 2021. It's their 16th overall share, at least, of the Big Ten regular season title. They're going to win this thing outright. They're not going to be sharing it with nobody.
Yeah, they got to win one of 3 games left the rest of the season.
They do have 3 tougher games.
Yeah, to be
sure.
fair, but I have a feeling they're not going to go 0-3 over that stretch.
Yeah, I would be, shocked by that. They still only lost 1 game in the Big Ten, so.
More on that coming up.
Yeah, more on that coming up. Okay, more on college basketball now. Last night, A.J. DeBonsa and BYU, man, they were coming off of that big-time win over the weekend at Iowa State. They're riding the high of the Big 12 play coming down the stretch. They just get blown out on their home floor by UCF. DeBonsa has 29 points. It doesn't matter. The Big 12 is just, we talk about the Big 10 as this elite conference, and it is. But the Big 12 is on another level this year. It's unreal.
So I feel like Michigan, it's a top-heavy conference because you have Michigan, and then you have this next group of, Illinois, Purdue. If you want to include Michigan State and Nebraska in that as well, by all means, go for it. But, that second group, the secondary group in the Big 12, is just so much better than any other conference's secondary. You got, between Arizona, Houston, BYU, and Kansas.
Iowa State is number 4 in the country.
There's a legitimate 5 title contenders in this group.
And Texas Tech was before they lost JT Toppin for the year. I would have
Correct.
absolutely put Texas Tech in a Final Four run, and they probably won't now. But yeah, it's just the deepest conference we've seen in a long time. Arizona,
top heavy too.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna have so many tournament teams, and like you said, if you just had to pick a conference who was gonna win it all, who's gonna have the most Final Four teams. Of course, I'm just leading Big 12, absolutely. Talk about the one good team in the ACC, though, Duke. 44-point win at Notre Dame last night. It's the third 40-point road conference win of the year for Duke. Just what?
Yeah. Is this a Duke thing or an ACC thing?
I think it's a
both.
Duke thing, and I wanted to kind of toss this out there because we never really talked about it from a coaching perspective. John Shire and Dusty May. They got to be 1 and 2 for best coach in college basketball, right? I know we said Duke and Michigan are the best 2 teams, but just from the coaching perspective, man, for what John Shire has done compared to these other guys that have taken over for the legendary coaches, UNC, the fact that Shire has just done what he's done at Duke so far is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, if we're talking best coaches, bad timing to do this. I always think
For
Calvin
sure.
Sampson deserves to be in that conversation. Obviously, they've lost 3 in a row, so it feels kind of crazy to bring up. Bill Self, obviously.
Doesn't lose on Monday. Yep.
Everything he's had to deal with, though, this year with Peterson, I think they've handled that all really well.
And his health concerns, he's had a ton of that going on this year, too.
Yeah.
Izzo.
probably is a little underrated.
Yeah,
You're
I mean,
right.
and Shire's still doing it the traditional way of, like, they don't really use the portal. They just let's get 4 or 5 stars, and then the other 2 guys in our starting lineup are going to be seniors that have been here since they were freshmen. Like, they're still kind of doing it in a traditional way as well, and they're really good once again. Obviously, that's no shock to anyone. Okay, and also college basketball tonight, St. John's, UConn, tonight at 7, rematch. St. John's won the first time around. UConn has been kind of getting
Hurley.
exposed.
How did we
a
not bring up
little bit.
Hurley?
Yeah, I mean, but UConn's just like, I don't know. I wouldn't put Hurley in the top 2 right now, man.
Really?
I know, kind of crazy. Might be a hot take. I'd put him over Rick Pitino, though, that's for sure. A couple more things here in the news. Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinals. He says they haven't talked, despite what the Cardinals general manager said, that he's been in contact with Kyler Murray. Kyler says, nah, that's a lie.
That's crazy to just have no communication with your quarterback. Like, it's one thing to have some question marks on whether or not he's going to be back, but to have no communication,
After
doesn't that
saying
tell
you
you
did?
everything you need to know? If he comes back, that's awkward. That's real awkward.
Yeah, we had a couple of trade things get thrown out. Obviously, the A.J. Brown stuff was thrown out about, I don't know if A.J. Brown's going to be back on the team. Nick Sirianni said, you got Tua that they said that they're looking for a trade, but like they're obviously not going to find anybody for a trade. So, I don't know, out of Kyler Murray, like Kyler Murray trade percent, where would you put it?
25.
Oh, you think it's pretty low then?
I just don't think there's a suitor that is willing to give up enough draft capital to get him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know who out there, and that contract as well is just, it's a weird situation with Kyler Murray. I think he's still
really
good.
is.
He's really overpaid, and I don't know who wants to take on that contract. So, a couple more things here in the news. John Lynch and the 49ers are optimistic that they can reach a new deal with Trent Williams. Of course, that's another awkward situation going on right now. A tackle that's at the end of his career, still extremely good and talented, and is paid to the highest amount. The 49ers basically need to redo his contract to bring him back, and he does, of course, not want it to be restructured. So
How does this happen every year with this guy? Doesn't it feel like there's a Trent Williams holdout or contract something every offseason? And there has been for like 3 straight years.
I think it's just because ever since he's gotten to San Francisco, they've been like finessey with his contract,
Yeah.
pushing it back year in, year out, and finally he's like had enough, which I guess is fair because he's extremely talented. So I don't think he would end up on another squad, right? Like, it'd be kind of crazy if Trent Williams just hit the open market.
There's no way he's getting cut.
But that's the only route if they can't come to an agreement. So I don't know. This is going to be pretty
Imagine he
interesting to
gets
watch.
cut. Then the Lions should cut Decker and go get him.
Right. Use that $20 million. Yeah, exactly. Last thing in the news, Phillip Rivers' son, Gunnar Rivers, 2027 quarterback prospect, commits to NC State, just like Phillip. So good to get some Phil Rivers news in the news as well.
That's awesome. Phillip, yeah. How about this? Anytime we can bring Phillip Rivers into the news, we have to do it.
Exactly.
By law.
That's a Mitt Morning Catch rule. And that is a Mitt Morning Catch.
Phil Rivers, man. Still relevant in the Big 2-6. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. Kyle mentioned it. The Michigan Wolverines won a championship last night, or a regular season championship, a share of it. I want to jump into the historical, what does this mean for U of M, for the Big Ten, when we return. Again, 989-837-6125. That's the number for our message line. And like and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. A lot of good stuff on that end. All right, we'll be right back. 90 seconds. Stick with us here on The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and
This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, we'll get to Michigan basketball here momentarily, but we do have a special guest joining us here in the studio. John Aird Insurance Group with Farm Bureau, tight ends coach over at Nouvelle High School as well. How you doing, man? Good to see you again.
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm doing good. You were quick to remind me, Lions prediction from last time you came on about 6 months ago. Spot on. You said 9 wins. You said they maybe barely squeak into the playoffs. Unfortunately, they did not.
You're right. So I actually wanted to be very wrong in my conservative prediction, but when it hit the 9 wins, I was like, well, that was what I predicted. And I was really hoping they'd squeeze in, but obviously they didn't.
Yeah. You saw Taylor Decker coming back. What do we think about that?
So, from a, what he brings to the program outside of football, I mean, the leadership, that's a great thing, but I don't know if it's time to move on from him, if his days are past, if that's the case. So I'm not sure. I
was under the impression that it's time to move on. He's a little bit too old. Can't rely on his injury status going into next year, a year older as well. People got mad at me. I think I came off a little bit too aggressively. I think that's what it was.
People in this town love him. And so I
Yeah.
think you got to tread lightly when you're talking bad about Decker or
Anybody on the Lions for that matter.
Quite honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
People love their Lions. And so, yeah, you got to be careful when you talk about them.
Yeah. What's your prediction for this offseason with that crew?
Well, I'd like to see, I've got In Dan We Trust T-shirt that I wear pretty regularly, and I still trust him as a head coach. I'm glad he's going to be stepping away from running the offense. I think that was a huge hit. I listened to you throughout the fall, and I think I kind of mimicked what you were saying. His gift is more leading the entire program rather than being an offensive coordinator that's also leading the organization.
Yeah, it's not that he was incapable of doing it. Like, the offense was better when he was calling plays. It just, I think it, like you said, it takes away from everything else, and then the team morale kind of starts to slip, and you're like, what, isn't it supposed to be this culture-driven organization? It's like, yes, but the culture leader guy is trying to come up with a game plan for the offense this week going up against whoever, so it just leads to this awkward situation.
And I think wasn't the Redskins when he first came out as the offensive coordinator? Wasn't that?
Yeah, Washington.
And they played well.
Yeah, Gibbs had like 700 yards.
Which actually I think worked against him in the long term because then he kind of settled in at that offensive coordinator role, and it really just wasn't the correct role for him from a leadership standpoint.
So Nouvelle football, how'd that do last year?
So we finished not quite where we wanted to be, but, when you think about a high school season at the beginning, there's only going to be 8 11-man teams that are actually happy at the end of the season. So for us, it was a matter of we didn't finish at Ford Field. We came up quite a bit short. We got one playoff victory, which was needed. But we came up short with some of those young men that were really good leaders on our program and our team.
Nice. And your wife's the tennis coach over there as well.
That's right. Yeah, she is entering.
They're in season coming up, or is that fall?
Yes. So the Aird household gets extremely busy this time of year because we've got 7 and 9-year-old boys that are in their own sports and things like that. And then my wife and her cousin, I think they're entering year number 11. With, I think, 6 state appearances, and last year they finished in the top 10 of Division VIII tennis. So super proud of my wife for what she's done for the Nouvelle program. And, I mean, really, they get 20 to 25 girls out every season. And these girls, some of these girls, it's their first time playing tennis. But, like I said, my wife and her cousin do such a good job of getting these girls out to play. And they just have a great, fun spring season, and kind of, it finishes up for those seniors. It's finishing up their school year, and that's like one of their last commitments to the school as they're finishing their high school careers. But my wife Megan and her cousin Kelsey have done just a great job with that program.
What about the insurance game, man? How's that been treating you since the last time we spoke?
Very good. Yeah, my team, we've finished up the year with a lot of good production for acquiring new clients and things of that nature. And then We were actually, I was just telling Sarah offline, 11 years ago when I got into the insurance business as a owner of an agency, never did I think that in the future I would insure a fleet of jets. But this past year we had an opportunity to insure a small private group of jets, and we were able to figure out a way to insure them and get them covered properly. And so we now proudly insure a small fleet of jets.
Was that a learning experience for you?
Yeah. So
So is this also like a PSA? Like, hey man, if you need something insured, just come to us. We'll figure it
we'll
out.
figure it out. That's actually what we say. We'll become experts. And that was the phone call I got was, hey, do you know anything about insuring jets? And I said,
Give me 48 hours.
not a thing. And a month and a half, 2 months later, after working through it and getting them insured properly with the right pricing, we officially are now experts, and we feel comfortable insuring anything that comes our way.
So what you guys are doing? Home, auto, fiscal.
Yep.
Any boats?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we're home, auto, life, commercial, farm.
All of
is
it.
the main thing. So we're technically a multi-line agency with 2 locations, one in Bay City and then another one in Saginaw Township. And we can, like I said, insure anything that people need. So we're kind of a one-stop shop. If you come to us, we're going to make sure your home and your auto's taken care of. Do you have a business? Is that something we can take a look at? Mm-hmm. And oh, by the way, let's have a conversation about your young family to make sure from a life insurance perspective, we've got the right pieces in place in case you don't come home from work that day.
You guys are like a one size fits all sort of insurance business.
Yeah, and we've grown to the size where we're not so small that we can't specialize, but we're not so big that we don't give the individual touch. So it's allowed us to both kind of focus on our specialties. So Emily from our team really gets to focus on our commercial side and handles a lot of our farms. Harrison from our team leads our life insurance side. And each one of my team members has an expertise that they can handle whatever account falls underneath that particular line of service.
How many guys you got on the team right now?
9, and we're always looking for more, though. We're currently actively trying to hire 2 sales professionals.
Okay. Don't steal Sarah from us.
Oh, gosh, I've asked her a million times if she'd love to come to the dark side.
With everything going on right now, where are you guys the busiest this time of year?
Right now, it's kind of letting the previous year kind of unwind and wind down and see where we landed from a production standpoint. And then right now, we're just trying to reach out to as many families and businesses as possible and get our year rolling so that we can be available to provide any insurance needs that people have.
Yeah. When it comes to this upcoming year and people, maybe, like you said, start a business, renting a home, whatever it is, what's the best way that people can get a hold of you guys if they're like, maybe I should get this insured?
Yeah. When you have a question about it, we love to answer the questions. There's no questions that's a stupid question. They're all good questions, and we field them all.
I got a question then.
Yes.
Renter's insurance. I should probably have that, shouldn't I?
It's actually necessary. So do you rent your home?
I do.
Okay. So for you, your concern would be you've got, maybe $50,000 worth of personal property inside. And when I say that number, you might go, I don't know, I got that. A lot of times you do. You don't realize you have that, but if you were to have a loss, we're going to start cutting checks right away. We want to make sure we've got enough coverage in place, our limits are high enough to cover your personal property. The thing people don't think about very often when it comes to something small like renter's insurance is they don't realize the liability side of it. So if you've got someone there that's there for you, they're invited by you or uninvited by you, and they get hurt, you're responsible for their safety, whether they're invited or uninvited. And so why not have a very affordable property and casualty, renter's insurance policy in place so that if you were to get sued, you are a name, right? So if someone were to hear that you had a part of making sure somebody needed to be safe and they were hurt kind of under your watch, it'd be great to have that liability protection.
Don't give anybody ideas now.
No, not encouraging any lawsuits toward Ben Bosscher or anything like that. But, it's great to have it. And it's very economical. It's some of the best money spent in insurance, quite honestly. And when you get that, you get the you're going to probably do your auto with us. Then you're going to get discounts that are going to go back and forth from that. And then we're going to have, you're a young and healthy person. Your life insurance is never going to be any less expensive than it is today. So we're going to have a no pressure conversation about that too, because maybe someone hasn't had a chance to talk to you about your life insurance. You might have it all here through work, and that's great. It's great to have it through work, but you should always have it individually owned as well. That you control that policy.
You and I might need to talk a little bit more.
Would love to.
What's the best way other people can get in touch with their insurance?
You can call our office number. It goes to both our Bay City and Saginaw locations. That's 989-792-9687. Again, 989-792-9687.
Website or Facebook?
Yes. Yeah, you can find us. If you just type in John Aird Farm Bureau Insurance, you can find us.
AIRD, Aird Insurance Group, sponsors our around the league every single day. We'll be doing that momentarily. Combine updates, what's going on across the league. That's coming up at 10:30. When we come back, we'll recap the Michigan dominant performance, at least second half performance last night against Minnesota to earn them a share of the Big Ten for the first time since 2021. John Aird, appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
Always
Appreciate
good
it.
catching up.
Yeah.
All right, this is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. on 100.9 The Mitt.
Thanks to John Aird for coming on one last time. Let's shift gears. Michigan picks up a win last night. Minnesota tried to throw the zone at them. They couldn't make their threes in the first half, and then in the second half, it felt like they figured it out. They would get a Daymera a touch. They would let him post up. He would purposely try to draw a double team, and then just like that. What are you looking at me for?
Do we want to do Big Win Wednesday first?
Oh,
it is 10:15 a.m.
What a great idea!
Right.
I was like, "What is going? Does he have breaking news?"
I'm like, we
Is
gotta
someone dead?
make sure we can. The people that are here for Big Win Wednesday, we got to get them right.
All right, Big Win Wednesday, our giveaway thanks to our friends over at Garber Chevrolet. We do this every Wednesday. This week, Saginaw Spirit tickets. So here's what you got to do. Text in SPIRIT to 989-837-6125. Again, that is SPIRIT to 989-837-6125 for a chance to win those. We'll pick a winner here in the next 10 minutes or so. Anyway, the Michigan aspect of this. They pick up a win. They beat Minnesota. They hit their threes in the second half, picked it apart. So check that off the list of things they can do. Go up against the zone. We went over the two things that could potentially hold them back in March on Tuesday against Duke. Elliot Cadeau, who played a nice game yesterday, and Adae Merrigan in foul trouble, which he stayed out of last night. Look, I think from a standpoint of like, okay, what's going on in the Big Ten? Obviously, Michigan has ran it this season, but if we're talking like whose conference is it still, I think Michigan, the last test that they have to do, like they kind of got to go win the tournament as well. If this is a war, then Michigan has won all the battles, and the last battle is in front of their eyes. It's going to be this postseason tournament. They're going to win the Big Ten regular season. They've got that battle 90% won already. They just got to hang the flag of wherever they are. But this tournament, this Big Ten tournament, is everyone else in the conference's last chance to stop Michigan from sitting on that iron throne. Like, if they win the regular season and the tournament after winning the tournament last year, and they go 3 straight titles, as in tournament 25, regular 26, tournament 26. That's something that hasn't been done in a long time here in this conference. And if you look at total championships, tournament and regular season included, in just this decade, the 20s, you got Michigan with 3, so chance to make it 4, Purdue with 3, Illinois with 3, Michigan State with 2, Wisconsin with 2. That 4th one would officially make it like, hey man, Purdue, never heard of them. This is our conference now officially, and it's trending that way already. But I think the Big Ten tournament is everyone else's last opportunity to stop House Michigan from raising their banner in the Iron Throne, which in this situation is the Big Ten. There's some Game of Thrones for you,
right?
Kyle.
Yep, I totally understood all those references. Sick reference, bro.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's almost their final test. The first final test is getting through these final 3 games. Like, I do think...
Well, if they go 1 and 2, they still kind of win that battle.
Well, they do. But the more and more I've sat here and thought about it, I'm like, man, this is a pretty tough final 3 games, man. Like,
sure, but they're not going 0-3.
Illinois, Illinois is the one team that, by the way, like, everyone who doesn't super duper follow the history of the Big Ten is just all in on Illinois. Like, Illinois, they're huge. They have this lead freshman guard. They're going to go deep in the tournament. Do we remember who their coach is? Brad Underwood made the Sweet 16 for the first time ever, like 2 years ago. Like, the guy just doesn't win games in the tournament. Anyways, and then you obviously have to go at Iowa, which is just like a sneaky fun team. Like, so
yeah, but we've talked about the sneaky fun teams, like typically just haven't stood a chance against Michigan.
Yeah,
this year.
And I think that's kind of the big difference of just like, we have talked about this conference all season long about the Big Ten is loaded this year. It has a ton of teams that you feel like, man, the Big Ten has a chance to send multiple teams to the Elite Eight, maybe even multiple teams to the Final Four, and yet Michigan is 3 games up on the next best team. Mm-hmm. There's a good group of next tier teams. Your Illinois, Purdue's, Michigan State's, Nebraska's, Wisconsin's, whatever. Michigan just is clearly in a tier above them, and they're in the tier with everyone else in all of college basketball. Now, is that more of a Big Ten thing? Is it more of a Michigan thing? I don't necessarily know, and I think we're going to find that out basically on what Michigan does in the tournament, because that's kind of the next big step here is like, not only is, this a chance for Michigan to fully take over with this conference because of what Dusty May has clearly shown he can do season in, season out. I know some people aren't confident that like, oh, he's not going to go get these elite players in the portal every year. Well, he hasn't shown he can't do it yet.
He's
so,
also
like,
starting to land the 5 stars now.
Right. Like if McKenny's their star next year, he's already there, So the Big Ten still has not won a national title in the Big 21 century. The Big 2-1.
Nice.
You
Great usage of that.
I mean, technically they have. I know 2000, 1999, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, this is their best chance with Dusty May in Michigan, and obviously, like, this year specifically feels like their best chance, and we've talked about this. They lost to Duke or whatever, so they're not the best, greatest regular season team we've ever seen. But, like, if Michigan can win the regular season, win the Big Ten tournament, and then do some major damage in March, like, yeah, this is obviously their conference. They've taken it over because Purdue, they've owned this conference as well. What do they got to show for it?
Nothing.
They had the back-to-back best player in college basketball we've seen in the last decade in Zach Edey. They lost in the national title game. At least they made it. Like it was the first time a Big Ten team had made it since Michigan. But they didn't win it.
Wisconsin before that. No, you're right.
It was
Michigan
Michigan,
won
right?
it. Michigan did it twice.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, at least they made it. Like we'll give them that, I guess. But it's the Big Ten not winning a title in 26 years is just ridiculous, man. It's crazy that still has yet to happen, and Michigan winning it would definitely be like the icing on top. I do want to ask you about, though, like, you were pretty anti-winning the regular season last year. Like, it's just not a big deal. Like the tournament's way more important. Are you celebrating this at all if you're a Michigan fan? Are the Michigan fans allowed to be happy about this?
I think it depends what year. Like if you win the Big Ten, what was that, 2020? We were looking at pre-show when the number there was 3 teams that split it and they all had like a 15-6 record. I don't really think that's a reason to celebrate. But if you're up by 3 games on everyone in the conference and you win it outright, yeah, I think that's a small celebratory thing that you can have as a fan of that team. But the real bragging rights, I think, come in the tournament, as that's how postseasons work. You play the regular season to set yourself up for the postseason. You know how I feel about this. It's just a much more important flag, which is why I'm not ready to just deem Michigan. I mean, they're the best team in the Big Ten, but I'm not ready to claim it as their conference until they win that tournament for the second consecutive year. Then it's all of a sudden who's going to beat these guys. Then it flips from Purdue and Michigan and Illinois. Then it flips to, no, this is just straight up Dusty May's conference. That the House Michigan owns this conference. That's when we shift into that category.
Yeah, I think so. Especially, I mean, we haven't seen a team go regular season and tournament champions in a while. And so
Purdue did in 23.
But I'm saying like that, and that was Purdue did it then, and we just don't see it very often. It's not something that happens traditionally because the Big Ten is just so random. It's usually not dominated by a team, and Purdue had a stretch where they did dominate, but they dominated the conference.
Yes.
And as soon as you get out of the conference, as soon as you get into the tournament, Purdue lost to freaking what's-his-face, Dougie Buckets or whatever his name was a couple years ago. You know?
Yeah.
They lost to North Texas the one year they had Jaden Ivey. Like, they just were getting upset by all these teams, and then they did go to the national title game. So, like, that felt like their final breakthrough. Michigan, they don't even need to have that breakthrough. Like, they could just get it done this year.
Yeah, I think when I look around the rest of the conference and I think about that Big Ten tournament, like, what team has shown the ability to even beat Michigan? And Wisconsin's like their own entity because of how many threes they shoot. Illinois shoots a lot of threes too, so maybe that's a tricky matchup. But like again, when Michigan played Michigan State, I think we got out of that show and we're like, man, if they played 10 times, Michigan probably wins 8 or 9 of them.
Right.
I kind of felt the same way about Purdue. It was just too much size. Like Michigan.
Well, that's the thing.
Maybe they win 7 or 8 of those games.
Illinois is the lone team that's bigger than Michigan. Like, Illinois is the biggest team in the country.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm interested about this game on Friday, because it's like, yeah, that is Michigan's strength, and I still think they outsized Duke, but Duke for sure out-physicaled them.
Well, Duke outsized them when Daymero was off the floor.
Sure. But Illinois just straight up, everyone is 6'8". Or bigger. Like, I mean, Keaton Waugh was like 6'6", but that's their point guard. Like, they're huge. That's a humongous team. So I'm excited to see how that matchup works, but I still just think the Michigan defense is too much, especially after MSU beat Illinois. Like, if they did it, then Michigan probably can too. So, I don't know. It's going to be fun to see, though.
I think Michigan can do a good job shutting down Wagler. And if that's the case, then Illinois probably stands.
I mean, Yax is probably just his matchup, right? I mean, just put a big, lengthy guy on him.
Yeah. Or Merez, just make his life miserable for a little bit. They probably want him a little
Merez
bit
probably
more
a little
beat.
too slow to be stuck with him. Yeah. But still, like, they have options.
He just
for
has
sure.
the length to make up for
Yeah.
a lot of his ground that he can't cover. 989-837-6125. We'll take a trip around the league. When we come back, you're not going to want to miss it, and we'll pick a winner for our Big Win Wednesday. Again, thanks to our friends over at Garber Chevrolet. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. By Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Let's keep it rocking and rolling. Around the league. Time. Thanks to our friends over at Air Insurance. Let's do it.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
So The Athletic has this cool piece on their website that's just like live updates, basically, of these mini stories. So I'm just going to scroll through this because last night I was looking at, okay, there's some intriguing ones and there's a lot of new ones since then. So I'm just going to find some interesting ones and give you the latest updates on what's going on at the NFL Combine. Because as I've stated, I don't really care how fast a guy can run in a straight line, but we get all this information thrown at us. And for the NFL heads like Kyle and I and like a lot of our listeners, it's a really fun time from a content standpoint because you get to find out so much about.
Yeah.
You just get quotes.
I get to find out how long the arms are of all these O-linemen.
See, you're
stuff like
it's
that.
the opposite of what I was just
stuff.
saying about. Okay, let's start with a good one. Well, what happened to all the good ones from yesterday?
Right.
Wait, this is different than what's going on here? Okay, here's a good one. Minnesota's in a tough quarterback spot. What are the Vikings going to do at quarterback? The team remains competitive and talented, but superstar Justin Jefferson is not going to want to play another taxing year, and the Vikings haven't won a playoff game since 2019. So it leads us to the question of what's going to happen. Is J.J. McCarthy going to be the starting quarterback, or are they going to bring in some competition for him? If that's the case, who is it? Is it Tua? Is it Mac Jones? Is it Daniel Jones, and they're going to steal him away from Indianapolis? Is it Malik Willis? I don't know, but I'd be shocked if J.J. McCarthy didn't have a real person there competing with him for the starting spot. Honestly, I kind of think whoever comes in is just going to win it from him. You can't have Justin Jefferson that upset again.
I think it's Tua. I think Tua goes to the Vikings. I think I've been convinced of that. He's going to get cut. No one's going to trade for him, and I just feel like that is the spot. A backup situation where he actually has a chance to play, I think is so in the works. Obviously, Mac Jones is a guy that's his name's going to get tossed around. You got to trade for him, though. And I think the Jefferson part is pretty important here because Jefferson is like the Vikings are lucky where he is a pretty drama-free superstar wide receiver, like maybe the only one ever. And so he still at some point like has to realize, man, I have never played with an elite quarterback in my whole career. And I'm the best wide receiver in the league. And I have guys like JSN and Puka being talked about like they're better than me just because they have awesome quarterbacks.
And they're getting paid more than me now, too.
Right. Like at some point he will become frustrated if 9 doesn't become anything like Sam Darnold or Kirk Cousins was. So
I've got one more person that we like just never mention when it comes to the quarterbacks that are available for the Minnesota job. Guy who was thrown around there a ton last offseason.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
I was thinking about that.
Because my next combine update is, will Rodgers run it back? Steelers president and owner Art Rooney said the Pittsburgh Steelers left the door open for Rodgers to return, and head coach Mike McCarthy took it a step further, saying he would definitely like to have his former Packers quarterback back with the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2026. It's expected that he will be making a decision a lot sooner than he did last offseason when he held the Steelers hostage.
Yeah, when he didn't sign with them till like July or whatever it was,
yes.
August.
It sounds like this is going to be a little bit different this offseason. Could he be a person for Minnesota? Or is he one of those situations where it's Pittsburgh or nothing?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think he's either going to the Steelers or he's done.
What about Atlanta? That's another team that desperately needs somebody.
Well, Aaron Rodgers, though, is going to be the guy. Like, to me, the Vikings...
They don't have a single starter, though. Atlanta. Like, I'm not even...
Right.
This is a different conversation, but Atlanta just straight up doesn't have a quarterback on their roster right now. Unless their third string is someone relevant.
If Aaron Rodgers is your result, why wouldn't you just have hung on to Kirk Cousins, who was under contract?
Good point.
You know, so I think it's either Pittsburgh or bust. The Minnesota thing makes a little bit of sense just because, yeah, they wanted him last offseason and they didn't bring him in. And so maybe O'Connell doesn't want to regret that. But, yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers, I think he comes back to Pittsburgh, by the way.
I do too.
I think he comes back. I think he has another season in him, and I hope he comes back because things ended a little bit too good for him. Like, he was bad in the playoff game. But the whole year it was like, oh, wait, Rodgers actually is not that bad. Like, he's better than he was at the Jets. I want him to be so bad next year that it's like, this guy is old as hell. Why is he still playing? He looks like a grandpa.
I want it to be sad.
Yeah. I want it to be like, oh, man, I wish he didn't come back.
I want him to
year.
get benched.
Yeah. Yes, I do too.
San Francisco's quarterback room, the next update. So all the talk has been on Max Crosby and whether or not he'll be traded.
Max Crosby?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Niners.
I am. I'm giving you the update.
Oh.
All the talk is on whether or not Max Crosby is going to be traded, even though the Raiders GM, John Spytek, great name, said that that's not going to happen. When in reality, a lot of the conversations about a name being traded during the combine is actually Mac Jones. And the 49ers have stated very clearly, we don't have any plans of trading him. I think that's crazy. I think you can say that all you want to boost his value.
It's smart to say that, yeah.
But there's a lot of teams that need a quarterback, as we've addressed, and I think he would be one of the guys that everyone would kind of be after. But like for a reasonable price.
But like here's the thing, if I'm the Niners, yeah, I'm openly willing to moving him because like you said, getting anything for your backup quarterback just
it's
kind of
great.
feels like a dub. Like getting any sort of draft capital, especially with the amount of injuries that the Niners had last year.
And
of course,
if we believe Shanahan can just do this with any quarterback, even Mr. Irrelevant, then why keep him?
that's what I was going to say. If I'm a free agent old quarterback that used to be a starter and I want any chance of ever resurging as an NFL quarterback, I am going to be Brock Purdy's backup. Like, there would be people wanting to be the next Mac Jones.
Yeah.
So if
Tua.
I'm the Niners, Tua, like
Wilson,
it
Zach
could
Wilson.
be somebody even worse. It could be Desmond Ridder. It could be anybody. Like you're going to get everybody wanting to come be the backup with Brock Purdy. So I think moving him is totally the play. I think there's going to be a kind of a bidding war. Like, what if we see Mac Jones go for like a second-round pick as a
No.
backup? It's a starting
a
quarterback.
little
You're
steep.
trading for a starting quarterback. Like,
Who's trading for a starting quarterback?
we just talked about all the teams that need one.
a second.
Second's
steep.
aggressive, but like a
Second's aggressive.
third I don't think is unrealistic.
No, that's where I'm with you. I think the third is the line I would draw. Next update from the Combine. Can Tampa Bay retain Mike Evans? Now everybody knows that Mike Evans intends to play, but when that PR piece came out, or when he stated he was coming back, you know what it didn't say? Yeah, I'm coming back to play with Tampa. He's a free agent right now, and it's TBD of where he's going to play. If Evans gets an attractive offer from a team he believes is on the verge of a Super Bowl, he may decide to leave, according to this update, unless Tampa Bay uses the franchise tag on him or otherwise convinces him of staying before becoming a free agent. But it feels like if he hits free agency and they don't have a contract extension, he's probably just going elsewhere in my eyes. I want him in Buffalo. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one. That's the location that everybody probably wants. I just still cannot see him outside of Tampa Bay. I can't see it, man. He's a Buck for life. I would be shocked if he went anywhere else.
Next Combine update. Who's going to be the Jets quarterback? The Jets did not get a great offseason in terms of quarterback. They still don't have their answer. Though
Dante Moore screwed him over.
Right, Dante Moore screwed him over. They would have screwed him over for sure.
Yeah, true.
Weak free agency class, even if Kirk Cousins or Kyler Murray were joining the group, it just becomes a what's going on here situation. I think this is the Malik Willis spot. One of the many Malik Willis spots. I think it's this or Atlanta. But I don't think they can just run it back with Justin Fields.
Justin Fields is the New York Jets starting quarterback. For
crazy.
sure. For sure, man. He's under contract.
Or do they draft Ty Simpson? Or Garrett
It'd
Nussmeier?
be so dumb. It'd be so dumb if they did that.
What
Because
if they took Nussmeier in the third?
Sure, you could do something like that. You're not going to start him week one. We're talking about who the week one starter is. Like, I just think that if you're the Jets, you have so many picks now. Like, you did a really good job getting a ton of assets at the deadline. And to trade up for a guy that just is not this consensus, unless you fall in love with Ty Simpson. But, like, I don't. Like, I don't know who is,
He started like 13 games in his entire career.
I think you clearly are willing to play the waiting game with Aaron Glenn because there wasn't even an ounce of talk about him being gone after they were so bad this year. So, like, I think you have to play this out. Wait to get your quarterback. You have the picks. Like, you're probably also going to suck again next year no matter what, especially if Fields is your quarterback. So, I would not do something outrageous.
Ravens, they are supposed to give a market-setting offer to Tyler Linderbaum to be the highest-paid center in the NFL. So for all the Lions fans out there that had hopes of getting him, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a while ago. Like, why would the Ravens let him go? Pretty simple.
I agree. More Minnesota talk on J.J. McCarthy. Another update for you. 49ers likely to release Brandon Ayuk. 49ers are planning to do that.
What do we think? Is he just done?
No, some team will pick him up
You think
for
so?
sure. Yeah. I don't know who that, like, what team needs.
He's gone off the rails pretty hard.
What about Buffalo? Anytime
We're
there's a
just
receiver.
throwing
Buffalo.
Yeah, exactly. Tennessee, I think, is a good wide receiver spot for somebody, too, by the way.
You want a Tennessee update? There was
Sure.
a Tennessee update that I
Did you
skipped
see they have
over.
the most bald dudes, like, ever on staff?
I did see that.
They are like, we thought the Lions were getting all the bald dudes. Nah, it's the Titans.
The lone update I have on the Titans for you is it's time to build around Cam Ward.
Oh, their quarterback. who
Yes.
They took first overall. It's time to build around that guy. It's a good update.
All right, I just won't read it then.
No, read it. I mean, I think they should trade for a receiver. I think they're a team that could use, like, getting
I think that's
weapon.
what they're saying.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm totally there.
The blurb says, with Robert Saleh in as coach and GM Mike Gonzi is approaching his second draft with the team. The positional priority is an interesting question for a roster with all the holes in place. The Titans' most glaring need as their edge and receiver, and their options to be and there will be options at both the number 4 spot and the rest of the draft. However, the Titans should be prioritizing protecting the quarterback. That's what they said.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But, like, they have Dayball there now. Like, they took Malik Neighbors in the middle of the first or the middle of the top 10, and it worked out pretty good for them. So,
yeah, set him up to succeed.
Yeah,
because he wasn't last year. Okay, that was around the league, presented by our friends over at Aired Insurance. You heard John earlier today. Aired Insurance understands not everyone's insurance needs are the same. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for your needs. Whether it's life, home, auto, fiscal insurance, it's all available with the Aired Insurance Group with Farm Bureau Insurance. The team's got over 100 years of combined experience. They know exactly how to put you in the best position possible. The experience matters, and that's why the Aired Insurance Group with Farm Bureau Insurance is the way to go, serving the Tri-Cities with locations in Bay City and Saginaw.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back into the show. So we were having a debate pre-show. We were like, all right, well, let's just make a topic out of it. What's the best position to play in all of sports? I threw out a wild card answer. Long snapper. You get about $1 million per season in the NFL. Whenever there's screw-ups on the kick or the punt, usually not the long snapper's fault. Maybe in college, but not really in the NFL. Long snapper's pretty precise with it. It's usually the holder or the kicker who screws it up. You just get paid $1 million to be on the team, but you don't really have to take any hits. You're so protected in the rule book about hitting the long snapper. You just have one simple task, and you get a front row seats to watch the Detroit Lions or whoever's team you're on, and you just get to be a part of something like that with just the most minimal role ever. Get a nice salary, do that for 10 years. Make $10 million and then find something else to do with your life. I think that sounds incredible. I know a lot of people are going to jump right to quarterback. You got dudes trying to kill you if you're the quarterback, and you're being criticized as much as anybody else. Long snapper, nothing's your fault.
I'm with you in the fact that it can't be something it's that high leverage, but I will move to backup quarterback. I think backup quarterback is the best position across all sports to play. Just from my life rocks, because you're still being paid pretty good as a backup quarterback. And if you are a career backup, one of those guys that for some reason just has a 10-year career when you've maybe started 3 games in your career, you just hop around from team to team, you get to do nothing. You just get to hang out. The only issue is, that tweet that it's accidentally became important at my job. Now my life sucks. That has the ability to happen to you, at any given time.
That's the thing, you still have to prepare as if you're the starter.
For
if you're
sure.
the backup. That is more
That's
taxing.
a good point, because practice for the long snappers just got to be,
you're playing
goofing
ping pong
off,
half the
right?
time.
Hey, let's go do 20 snaps and then leave.
Yes.
Right? How long can you just do that over and over again?
There's much more of a mental tax as the backup quarterback, because, you got to be ready to go. You got to do the warm-ups. And I'm sure all the backups love the
You're basically
opportunity
a coach,
to get in.
right? As the backup quarterback.
A coach who has to be warmed up and ready to go at any moment. And if you're not and you get thrown in, it's just the most obvious, oh, this guy sucks type of situation ever.
But also, you're never expected. It's when you're the backup quarterback, there isn't expectations or pressure, right? Because everyone's reaction when your quarterback gets hurt is just oh, we're screwed. So it's you can only do better than people expect. They just kind of know that it's not going to go well if the backup is in.
That's mostly true, but I think you can still be so bad that all of a sudden,
Nathan Peterman,
that's
5 picks.
Exactly what I was.
But also,
thinking.
he was he was still a backup quarterback 2-3 years ago. He was a 10-year vet of being a backup in the NFL.
But that's the definition of he just kind of hung out for the longest time, and then he was I have to go in now. And then that happened. That's
right.
a guy who hadn't been locked in at practice.
I would say backup quarterback that legit plays less than 5 games in his career, but somehow is still just in the NFL forever. Because there is guys like that. David Blau, but life that, not bad, right? Not a bad NFL career.
Not a bad NFL career.
But the long snapper's pretty fun, too.
You make way more money as that backup quarterback, though. Is it just simply
and you kind of get the shine, man. You're still a quarterback.
Yeah. You got that aura to you.
Yeah, exactly. Long snapper, dude, people like to make fun of the long snappers.
Mike says
messed up.
Backup place kicker in the NFL. I don't know if that really exists.
You're not on the team. It's a practice squad thing. At least because that's what I was gonna say. Maybe the 3rd string quarterback, but even those don't. Those are not that around anymore.
Andrew says first base in baseball. Not a lot going on in that corner.
Okay. From a baseball,
lot of pressure from an offensive standpoint to deliver.
Sure. I still think being a relief pitcher though is definitely the most ideal for baseball.
See, that's
right?
what Sean said.
You just get to
pitcher.
chill for most of the time.
Yeah, 8th inning, it's all right, I'm finally warm up. I went yesterday.
Some you go into games just knowing you're not going to pitch that day too. Some games I pitched yesterday, I'm not pitching today. You don't have to do anything that day, except just get your bullpen innings in.
Someone said bullpen catcher.
Ooh, that's good because you are a member of the team. You are
Kinda.
You are a member
It's
of the
like an
team.
asterisk.
Yeah, you're not like on the active roster, but like it's like being an assistant coach basically.
I'd rather be the long snapper than the bullpen catcher.
Yeah, you're
though.
still getting like in-game.
Yeah,
reps.
even though it's like your job is so minuscule, but
we don't
important.
want to downplay the long snappers, right?
No, I'm not downplaying the long
Yeah.
snappers, but like you play a significant role, but
Right.
it's so carved out to like you don't really have an impact on the game all that
Bullpen
much.
catcher definitely is like kind of it's kind of a sneaky answer. Relief pitcher though just has the ability of like there is so much pressure. Like you could just be hated so much if you're a bad relief pitcher, but from a like I get to chill out perspective, yeah, that's pretty good.
See, Jay says I'd have to disagree on the backup quarterback. If anything, this might be the worst position to play in all of sports. Have to put in the same amount of work and knowing the system is QB1 for a hell of a lot less money and for a realistic outcome of most likely not ever seeing the field.
True. Yeah, and all, that's a good point because you are putting in the same work, and it's like if you are a quarterback in the NFL, you like want to play. You know, like you definitely were like a really good college quarterback, so that means you like it's not like you're cool with just chilling out. But like
a lot of people saying backup quarterback.
I
though.
know
That's the most popular answer.
I think it's like a pretty ideal spot. Ryan in the YouTube chat kind of supports it. Says you don't even have to be good as the backup QB. Look at Tim Boyle. He was terrible in college, and he's been in the league for 7 years. TB12. You know?
Was Boyle the guy that Rodgers just like dragged along from place to place as the backup?
That was Kurt Benkert,
Oh, okay.
the Madden guy now.
Yeah.
Big Madden guy.
Backup quarterback, by far the most popular answer when we asked everyone on socials. Punter, not a bad answer either.
Punter, not a bad answer.
A little bit more involved, and nothing's usually your fault. Maybe you shank a punt once in a while, but then it's just like, oh man, bad punt. Your defense got to get a stop here.
And no one really be talking about like when a guy's punting, like, man, here comes the terrible punter.
No.
Where it's
If
like if
anything-
a kicker rolls out and you're like, you know this kicker sucks, like everyone knows, you know?
I think a kicker might actually be the worst.
Yeah,
position.
kicker's the most pressure ever. And you can
Yes.
just like and you never get praised for it either. Like
Never.
That's why when all these dudes are hitting 60-yard field goals and stuff, I actually like to be like, man, this guy's a top 3 kicker in the league. Because like they don't get any praise at all.
I agree.
By the way, I don't want to get too far on a tangent here. Speaking of the 60-yard field goals,
UFL?
You see that?
Yeah, UFL's 4 points.
I love what the UFL like. I'm not going to watch it. I don't care. But why not? Why
They're
not
just
do
like,
some
screw it?
Why not do some goofy stuff? Because there's another weird thing that they're adding into. Like, oh yeah, you have to go for it on 4th down if you're in the opponent's territory.
You don't have,
or you
yeah,
can't
you're just not allowed to punt.
You can't punt. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to either do a field goal or go for it.
Right.
I'm
I
all
love that.
in.
I love that.
Just make it as fun as possible.
Why wouldn't you kick it? It's 4 points. You know, like if it's 60 yards, why not?
I love that league just trying to get as creative as possible, and they're also just like, no, we're not doing the stupid new kicking rules.
Yeah.
We're letting these guys run into
Tush
each other
push,
full speed.
Ban it.
Oh yeah, they did.
They banned the
tush push.
Yeah, we don't want that. We want it to be fun. Yeah, I'm all for that. I had another good one too, and I can't remember what it was.
For best position.
Oh,
I mean, someone
no.
said owner. That doesn't really count.
I thought of the worst one actually. Kicker, I think you've convinced me. Kicker might be the worst. Cornerback is just so tough.
Oh
man.
my god, yeah.
You just can't like you're just so set up for failure. The
Yes.
success rate of a cornerback is extremely low.
Even the best ones.
Right, exactly. And that's like you just either get a flag or like there's so much advantage for the wide receiver. And that's why I've been a little bit less about like the corners celebrate every time something goes their way
Yeah.
because they
Seatbelt.
Yeah, stuff doesn't
Terrible
go their way
throw,
very
seatbelt.
often. Exactly. So like why not? I'd celebrate too.
That might be the most taxing position.
Yeah.
Where it's
Just
just
doesn't
like,
go well a lot, man.
No, it doesn't. All right, 989-837-6125.
Did we get a winner by the way?
Yeah, congratulations to our guy, Ty. We're going to be sending you those tickets. So congratulations to Ty for winning Big Win Wednesday. Next week, we'll be giving more fun things away thanks to our friends over at Garber Chevrolet. 11 o'clock hour on the way. Time to revisit the Detroit Lions' decision of bringing back Taylor Decker. I'm going to try to do this a little bit less in your face this time because I feel like I was a little in your face when we first did it. I don't mean to be that way. I just strongly disagree with Taylor Decker coming back to the Detroit Lions. We'll talk about that when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on the Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
on Midland.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. 989-837-6125. That is the mid-message line for you. We got to talk about Taylor Decker. We got to talk about the Detroit Lions here. I don't want to say I'm anti-Taylor Decker, but I am anti him returning. I think Taylor Decker has served the Lions in a magnificent way, but bringing him back, I think, is a little irresponsible on behalf of Brad Holmes. And now there's been a little bit of a trend in, revisions history, 2020 is always hindsight. There's been a little bit of a trend of, you look back and maybe some reckless decisions in terms of handing out the contracts. I think Holmes, we praise him for handing out the contracts to everyone. Everybody gets paid. All my guys eat. And now we're in a situation where don't have a ton of money to spend in free agency. Whether or not the new guys are getting paid, and Branch and Laporta and Campbell and Gibbs, all in question. And I start to wonder, should Taylor Decker have been paid? I think the answer is probably no. Because now you're in an awkward situation where if you get $16 extra million to spend, I would just do that and use the 17th pick to draft a tackle. And what I wouldn't do is draft the tackle anyway and have them just sit on the bench. You're not playing at all if you're a backup tackle. Those guys don't rotate in. And I'm not picking someone in the first round who can't help the Lions this season. They need help. They're no longer Super Bowl in the bubble team. They got to earn their way back into that group. Got to do that by adding in the draft. So I wouldn't be taking a tackle here. It's nice that Taylor Decker wants to come back. Don't get me wrong. There's something that's really making me nervous about him coming back to where I don't trust him to stay healthy. He's another year older. He's declined in play anyway. It just feels like there's a total avenue for this to go poorly, and then that would lead you to why is he paid? Is there a conversation to be had about, he should just definitely be cut, save yourself the money, go buy yourself a center, draft a tackle, no-brainer type of decision, but if that's going to be the decision to cut him, it's basically Brad Holmes admitting that he shouldn't have given him the contract in the first place, and I worry Brad Holmes won't ever admit that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there, and it would be more realistic for that to happen if Decker's play had just extremely gone down, and it hasn't. He still is a fine tackle. There isn't a lot of good, really good tackles starting on both spots across the NFL for all 32 teams. So, the Lions are one of those teams that feel like they have one of the better duos in the league, and obviously one of them is led by Penei Sewell. That helps a lot.
Yeah, I think it skews it a little bit when you have the best guy.
For sure, but it's also not like Decker's bad. And I think that's just my big thing with this whole situation is I still believe that, especially last year when you watch the Lions, when Taylor Decker played versus when he didn't, it was detrimentally different.
Correct.
And that's probably going to be the same way this upcoming season. Now, if Taylor Decker wasn't here this year, then that means they, of course, got some sort of better replacement for him, because I would assume Giovanni Manu would not be the full-time starting left tackle for 17 games.
I pray to God.
I would really hope so.
I'm jumping ships if that's the case. I'm abandoning ship.
What if Manu turned into a stud? What would happen to you?
I'd have to retire.
But yeah, so if you believe that drafting a first-round talent at tackle is going to be a better option right away than Taylor Decker, then sure, that's fine. I don't know if I'm willing to take that risk. I think I would rather take the risk of let's draft a guy that can play next to Taylor Decker or can play in between and play center, and then still have Decker and just hope that he can stay healthy. I get the hoping he can stay healthy thing is not for everybody.
Yeah, so it basically leads you to a risk-reward conversation of comparing the risk of bringing back Decker and him not being able to stay healthy, or drafting a tackle and knowing okay, maybe there's a decrease in play right out of the gate, but can he be better? Can he develop in 17 weeks and live up to the standard that they need? Because I think the last thing, if Decker ends up just not being able to stay healthy, and this is just a complete disaster, we're going to look back at this decision to keep him around and just be I can't believe that's what happened. Because
they have the deadline, right, to cut him?
No, they can just do it anytime after March 1st.
Oh, get the money. Okay, got it.
I just it's so obvious to me, and I guess not everyone views it as this obvious, including Brad Holmes, and I wonder if that's more well, I actually think this is the right thing to do, or I wonder if it's more, I just don't want to admit that my handing out Decker was a mistake. It's because to me, it's just so obvious. Like, use that 17th pick, draft your tackle. Maybe he's not as good as Decker the first month of the season, but you got to just have trust in your coaching staff to be able to get them up to speed. And I'm sorry, man. I'm just not willing to roll the dice on Taylor Decker's health. I'm just not willing to do it.
I would trust your take here much more if you had a guy for me. If you could convince me that there's a guy. But it's just you're picking 17th in a tackle class that is there's going to be 3 guys off the board by then.
Are we
and
positive about that?
Okay, there's going to be 2 guys off. But, like, that's not a good thing if there's not 3 guys off the board. Like, there should be 3 offensive tackles taken in the top 10 of every draft. Like, it's that premier of a position. So if there's only been 2 taken off the board by the middle of the first round, that means the guy who's at third, 16 teams passed on him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I get that.
That's my whole take. Is like if we're picking 7th,
but there could be as many as 5 guys, 6 guys that get drafted in the first round.
Sure, that's every year.
Because now we're getting the 2 guys from Utah, Maui Goa from Utah or from Miami, Caden Proctor, and then the Georgia guy as well. Seems like he's just going to be a first rounder.
Proctor's kind of a one that if the Lions took him, I don't know. I think I'd be pretty out. Seems like he's a project type of player when that's absolutely not what they need right now. But I mean,
I don't know if you know this, but they don't care about the intangibles or the tangibles. They don't care about the measurables. I don't know if you've ever heard them say that.
Yeah, they don't care about the arm lengths, right? And have you been injured? But anyways, my thing is you have a draft like 2021 when Penei Sewell, who is widely considered as this like generationally good tackle prospect, falls all the way to 7. It's because that draft was freaking loaded. Mm-hmm. What has been the consensus about this 2026 NFL draft? Just from people that you respect, podcasts that you listen to, whatever it is. It's that like this draft just isn't. It's whatever.
It's fine.
It's a whatever draft. So in a whatever draft, we're gonna pick the 3rd or 4th offensive tackle off the board. To me, I'm not gonna sit here and like whenever if that does happen and they did draft that guy, I'm not just gonna be like I'm out on this guy. He's never gonna be good. But I'm talking for the year of 2026 and the 2027 playoffs. The Lions have to make this as an all-in season. Like, just not in the fact of, like, they have no chance to win it the year after, but, like, they are in that territory right now where it's like the pressure is there for them to win a Super Bowl, and I believe that Taylor Decker gives them a better chance to do that with their biggest issue last year, which was the offensive line, than a guy that I don't even know who he is in the middle of the first round, you know?
But when are they ever going to be able to find a guy? Like, they're never going to be picking at the top as long as they have all these blue chip players. So when are they ever going to be picking higher than 17? Do you think they're going to be as bad? I think they're going to be better next year, right? Like,
I would hope so. I would think everyone should be under that mindset. Yeah.
So when are you ever going to pick as high as 17 again? Like, you're talking about the 3rd or 4th tackle off the board. From this point forward, it might be the 5th or 6th, the 7th. Like, this is as high as it will go if you're doing things the right way. I think a tackle here is just so obvious in my mind.
It was obvious before this news. You know, it's Taylor Decker's on your team. You know, this changes things. Like, I think the mindset that we had, I was with you all offseason. Like, because I thought Taylor Decker was going to retire. Why? Because he basically told us he was retiring.
Yeah. Like, he said in that game, it's been a pleasure.
Right. And so whether that means something has changed for Taylor Decker, I would hope that that's what that means because he has to be confident he can be healthy. Or that means that he just is not ready to step away from football because he's a super highly competitive guy that's played for this franchise his whole career, which it's probably more so of that than the first thing, which could be a little bit nerve-wracking for him. But, yeah, I agree with the point of they shouldn't be picking this high again. I think that's just a can you're willing to kick down the road, though.
Ken says, for me, I think it's ideal for Decker to come back and them to draft a left tackle in the first round. Do you really trust a rookie left tackle? Let him develop. If I remember correctly, Decker wasn't all that great his rookie season. Decker was bad his rookie year, like just career lows across the board. So you're right about that. Drafting a rookie for him to sit behind Taylor Decker and watch when the Lions are in as desperation mode as they are to try to get over a hump when they have needs, having a first rounder sit on the bench and watch from the sidelines, I think is just crazy.
Yeah.
Unless you're banking on him to get hurt, like you're just like, we know he's going to get hurt at some point. And if that's the case, if that's the case, cut him.
Yeah, that's just
get him out of here.
If you are already under that mindset, yeah, then that's just dumb. But I'm with you. Like even last year's first round pick, the Lions kind of did a backup type of pick there. It was like Tyreek Williams, hey, you're going to play for the first half of the year, and then second half, like, not really. As soon as Lee McNeil comes back.
Yeah.
And obviously, Roy Lopez being so good played into that as well.
Correct.
But also, like, even that made sense because it was like, where were the other needs? What else were they taking?
Yeah.
They have so many needs. Like, if you're not going to take a tackle, okay, take an interior guy. Take an edge rusher. Hell, take a
defensive
damn
tackle.
safety.
Yeah, take a linebacker. Take a corner.
Take whatever. Like, there's not a lot of things that they would do, and I'd be like, what? They did that? Obviously, there's a few. But, like, they can't afford to have a first-round talent. And like you said, the highest they've picked in some years, this isn't the 29th pick in the draft. Like, this is a pretty good spot here in the first round. It has to be someone that can make an impact on the team.
What is the craziest position to where, like, our reactions to them taking Gibbs at 12 and then Campbell at 18, where it's like, they took what?
Running back again, for sure. And I've already seen someone in the YouTube chat saying, I think Pizza Man's been big on them taking a running back. I think that's just
That's got to be a troll.
Definitely a bit that he's doing. But, I mean, it's running back or quarterback. And the quarterback one.
Quarterback aside, I don't even think that
But
counts.
you could, honestly, I think it would make more sense than running back. Like, if they took a running back again, it would be like, what is going on?
Okay, with those two taken out
What
of
if
the
it was
equation,
Love,
then,
though?
I'd be all in. But that guy might go.
Todd McShay's
top
number one
4.
overall player in the draft, by the way.
I saw that. I'm all in on Love. Like, that guy could be really fun, but
I'm
it's
having
not going to
him
be.
in 2 dynasty leagues.
But he's not going to fall as far as 17. He's not falling past Kansas City at 9 in my eyes, if he's even on the board then. What would be the other position where it's like, this is just nuts?
A wide receiver, I think. I mean, and this sounds
fourth
dumb because
guy.
I'm just naming like the premier positions of fantasy football. But like, if they took a running back or a wide receiver in the first round,
Or a tight end.
If
We'd
they
be
took
like,
a-
what?
If they took a tight end, then I would be like,
Oh, Sam
so
Laporta's
Sam
never
Laporta's
playing.
cooked. He's just totally injured.
Sam Laporta got a basically standing ovation at the Pistons game on Monday. People were
Really?
losing their minds
He was there.
at Sam Laporta. Yes.
Oh, that's
He
great.
looked in good spirits.
We
so
did get
good to see.
one more YouTube chat about Decker from Sam. He says, I think with Decker, we have to remember he was fighting that injury all season. I'm assuming it was an injury that needed more significant rest than he was able to get between games. But DC said they still plan on going and getting depth at tackle. Yeah, if he has the full offseason to feel like, okay, I've recovered well enough from this, then I could get behind it.
Shoulder, right?
It was shoulder, and then it was a lot of things. But yes, it was the shoulder initially.
The
yes.
issue is he had a whole offseason rest, and the shoulder injury was like similar to the Joseph knee thing. The shoulder injury was just like there week 1. It just like was here, and it was never going to go away. It was a management thing even in camp. So like he had all offseason last year to recover from whatever was going on, and he showed up, and it was bothering him, and it never got better. So I don't know. He made it clear he was not going to do another major surgery. Unless something's changed, I'm going to keep working off that impression, which makes me think it's still something that's lingering. So who knows?
Yeah, Drew Petzing taking a tight end in the first round. I'm starting to envision it a little bit here.
I'm actually going to
Ryan's talking about it in the YouTube chat.
I'm dropping the stock on the tight ends being like the 13 personnel thing. They've everything they've said since Drew Petzing has been hired is we're malleable. We want to have our best 11 guys in the field. And right now, I don't think that's always going to be the 13 personnel. They don't have a third tight end right now. Maybe that could change, but
Yeah, it was Anthony Ferkser last year.
that's right.
Right.
They only really have 2 tight ends that are worth like being on the field
Totally.
between him and Brock Wright, Laporta.
That's why you got to draft one in the first round.
Right? Okay. Yeah, I think those are. I guess there's not a ton of positions where it'd just be nuts. Just be tight end.
There isn't a
receiver.
defensive one, right? Like, I don't think there's a position on defense where I'd be like, what? Because even if they took a corner, I would just be like,
I'd
definitely be a little
if they
bit,
took a
for sure.
corner.
I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be nearly as surprised as running back, wide receiver, or tight end.
My reaction would be like, whoa, Terrion, was he a little bit more involved in that Florida scandal than
No.
we necessarily thought?
Come on.
Yeah, there's probably not a position on defense. If they took a safety in the first round, that would tell me, though, that Kirby's
Yeah,
just
I would.
cooked.
I would actually be so scared.
Did you hear the Kerby Joseph update from Dan Campbell yesterday?
No, and I don't know if I want to.
I'm going to tell you when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. 11 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Life happens fast. And at Yiter Insurance Group, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned in Midland, they keep they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yiter has the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. That's Yiter Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back in. I told you I had an update for you on Kerby Joseph. This is straight from the horse's mouth. Dan Campbell says, that's tough to say. We've been treating him. He's done a few things. We're in, I would say, the position now to where we can slowly start working him back. What is this going to look like? How is this going to feel? Call it a month from now. We'll have a lot better of an idea. Is this something we're going to be able to handle? What's he going to feel like? Or can we get it stable enough? Or can we get enough strength? It's all those things.
Holy crap.
Don't love it. Don't love it. Hard to feel better about that after hearing Dan Campbell say that yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the most, like, dancing around saying he's just been out. Like, we can start doing stuff now.
This is
we're almost in March.
And to be clear, this is what he had to say in December. I don't think it's necessarily going away, but it's something you can at least manage. It's like a lot of these guys, you know what you've got, some injuries here, dealing with cartilage or meniscus or anything like that. You do your best to manage it. There'll always be a little wear and tear. It's just how bad is it? Yeah, I think his knees just, and based on what Kerby Joseph said during the season tour, he's like, my knees just messed up. I just don't think he's going to play Kerby Joseph football again.
Dude,
I really
this
just don't think we're ever
stinks,
getting
man.
that version of him. That seems more likely than anything else.
Do we have to start the draft to safety push?
What do you mean? That's like
in the first round.
Oh, I don't think it'll happen in the first round.
I
But
know.
like, if I had to tell you three positions,
Caleb Downs falls to 17 because of the positional value thing.
I think it's the number one need on defense. More so than edge, more so than defensive tackle, more so than
think
finding
so?
another linebacker. Yeah, I don't even like. I was. Is this even up for debate?
You be saying that a lot.
Is this even debatable?
Yeah, because then it's like, am I allowed to have a rebuttal if you say this
Well,
isn't even up for debate?
Defensively, like what would be the next option other than safety?
I mean, who is the edge outside of Aiden Hutchinson right now? Who is it?
It could be Al-Quadin Muhammad.
Okay, and it could be Kerby Joseph at safety too.
Well, I'm saying like, yeah, but Muhammad's at least healthy. It's just a matter of re-signing
And if we're
him or
doing
not.
could-be's, like
Sure.
there just
He's
isn't
also
one.
healthy, and the Lions. I
Okay,
think
Kerby
for the right
Joseph's
price
also
could-
under contract.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So you think it's edge? My counter argument would be
I'm with you on the safety thing. Like, I don't want to downplay it, but like, I don't think it's the biggest need on safety. It has the potential.
think
to
it's
be.
edge?
It has the potential to be the biggest need.
So what do you think it is?
It's got to be edge.
my my counter.
They don't even
stance
have
to
a
this.
guy there right now.
I
Like,
know, but you know my
Marcus
stance on this
Davenport?
is well. Don't forget about Hassaneem. You know
Right.
my stance on this is whoever that person is across from Aiden Hutchinson is just going to reap the benefits of him leading the league in pressures every year. Like whether it's James Houston or Al-Quadin Muhammad, that person usually racks up 7, 8, 9 sacks. Last year's Muhammad with what,
Sure.
11 and a half? Like I just think that spot from a schematic standpoint is just constantly reaping the benefits of Hutchinson. It's just a matter of finding a 3-down player. But
Yeah, who are they
that's-
getting? Like-
that's why I don't think it's that big of a priority as much as safety, where it's like, okay, Kyle, who's starting at safety week
we got
one?
Dan Jackson, dude.
Oh, 7th round pick out of Georgia. Love it. I think safety is the biggest need they have on defense. It's at the lowest, number 2 behind edge. At the lowest.
Yeah. Man, dude, Sam and Noah just going through it in our YouTube chat about Kerby Joseph. I'm with you. Like just kind
RIP.
of sad boy hours there. Small Market Podcast says everyone needs to take care of themselves this offseason for the Lions. We're starting to look like a soft tissue team, especially with Kerby Joseph.
But this isn't a soft tissue thing. This is like cartilage, meniscus. That's stuff that just doesn't get better. You don't grow more cartilage. It doesn't just get better. If it's messed up and they got to remove it, it's just gone and it doesn't come back. I think, like, I'd be shocked if he ever played high-level, Kerby Joseph level football again. He might play again, but
Which
I
is
don't
terrible.
think it's going to be the same.
Yeah. Did you see in the ESPN mocked off-season trades, David Montgomery to the Chiefs was in there?
What they get in return?
I think it was like a 4th-round pick. Might have been high, actually. It might have been like a 5th-round pick.
If you can get a third, it's a no-brainer.
Third
A
is
fourth,
crazy.
You won't get a fourth. A 4th rounder,
You won't get a third.
I'd rather just keep him. If it's just going to be a 4th, I'd rather just keep him.
Caleb Downs went 2nd overall in Mel Kiper's first mock.
So did Shador Sanders last year, Kyle. So did Shedeur
And
Sanders.
you know what? And he would still take Shedeur Sanders second overall.
Incredible work by Kuiper. I had one more question before we get into news. You see all the videos of Dylan Larkin celebrating in Miami and going nuts in the locker room after the game.
Here in Miami.
When's the appropriate time to like stop celebrating after a gold medal and lock back in because you have a game on Thursday?
I was just gonna say, whenever they like get back, like the hour before your game. Like,
so you think he's
I
still
think
going nuts today?
I think you get the longest the longest total time to celebrate this that there is.
So you think he can still like go out and get destroyed?
Maybe
tonight
not
in Detroit?
tonight. Maybe tonight's the night where you're like, okay, like I'm like, this is like the last hoorah. Like I'm done celebrating this tonight. We got to lock back in. But like if he had like returned to Detroit and everyone wants to celebrate with him there, like I probably would too. Like
because I saw him going nuts in a Miami club on Monday, and I was like, okay, this probably should end now from a Red Wings standpoint. Like I'd prefer my guy.
oh come on.
Well, I mean, I'd prefer my guy like getting ready to go back into the season, like celebrate for sure. Then like, I think today is like a please be done celebrating. If you want to keep doing it, I'm nothing stopping you. But
Yeah,
like,
and hockey returns today too, so at least the Wings have the
An
extra
extra
day. Yeah, and Larkin.
he was looking. I don't think I've ever seen this side of him.
You probably
There
haven't seen
hasn't
this
been a lot
side of
of
a lot
winning.
of guys, man. Just the celebration aspect of this, like it's pretty unreal.
He was going nuts, just dancing. It looked like he was.
I mean, dude,
on a different planet.
If the U.S. wins the World Baseball Classic, which they're early favorites to win, by the way,
I saw that.
and they weren't last time, like we would own everything. We would own the 4 major sports because
Yeah.
football we just own.
Uh-huh.
You know, like already, they just give us football. Obviously,
I
Even
can't
though
believe they're even
we
bringing
will
this
have-
to the Olympics.
We will have flag football, yeah. And then obviously U.S. men's basketball won last time. Hockey wins on both sides.
Imagine
Baseball
they win
wins.
the FIBA World Cup too.
Ooh. See, I don't know much about that. No way they win that, right?
Probably not.
Yeah.
All I know is it's happening in the States this year.
they don't win that ever, right?
No.
Yeah.
The women are good. The
Right.
men are not.
Right.
989-837-6125. We'll hit the news when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9. The Mitt Bright Smiles start at Scott Family Dental. I was there on Monday.
How'd it go?
Got my teeth cleaned.
Cavities?
No cavities. 20, almost 24
Root
years
canals?
old. No cavities. No root canal. Well, I do have a root canal. That's because I slipped on a trampoline and whoosh,
Wisdom
broke
teeth?
my teeth. Got those removed years ago.
Okay.
We're just
I
running
think
through all the
I think
teeth.
that's all, right? Yeah.
Comfort Care, clean teeth come in a standard with Scott Family Dental, locally owned by Brandon Scott, native of the Great Lakes Bay region. Business is family focused. They treat patients of all ages like kids of their own. From routine checkups to whitenings, crowns, and more, they've got all the tools and the gentle touch to keep your smile shining. Friendly staff, modern tech, zero judgment, even if it's been a while since your last visit. So go ahead and show off those pearly whites. Scott Family Dental has your back and your teeth.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, it's that time of the day, 11:30, which means it's time to hit the Mitt Morning Catch. Kyle, tell us what's happening in the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, we're back into the news. Talked about it earlier. Got to toss it out again. Pistons Thunder tonight at 7:30. That's on ESPN. So are we disappointed that the Thunder aren't playing their guys? Are we excited because it means they should
we're calling them soft.
Likely get a win after the Spurs game?
We're disappointed. I wanted a measuring stick up against the competition in the West this week. We're not getting it if their two of their three best players aren't playing. Yeah, soft. All of them. Every single one of them.
The Thunder have been winning games still without their guys. Beat the Cleveland Cavaliers this past weekend. Went to Toronto and won last night.
7-point favorites, though, is
Probably because of the back-to-back, too, right? That's got to play into it.
correct. Yeah,
Not too much travel with Toronto and Detroit there, but still. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this game. What was your big takeaway after the Pistons-Spurs game on Monday?
They don't have enough shooting.
Well, just like, were you like disappointed in the loss? Was it more of a like, if we have beef stew, it might be different? Like,
No, that thought never crossed my head. I thought it was awesome how much they physically beat up Victor Wembanyama. They got to him in the first half, but he's just so inevitable in his impact on the game. They couldn't score in transition when he was out there as well. My big picture takeaway, though, was like, man, I don't know if this team has enough shooting to get through 3 playoff rounds. I mean, they shot under 20% from behind the arc in that game.
yeah.
And their shots, I mean, your shots, it's just going to be hard to shoot at the rim at a high percentage when Victor's in the game. When you're going, that's why I'm so scared of playing San Antonio in the finals, because if Victor's there protecting shots, it's going to force the Pistons to take a lot of outside looks.
Yeah.
Not a good three-point shooting team, man. I don't think they can beat the Spurs in a 7-game series.
The funniest thing is I had First Take on the following day, and they were talking about, do the Pistons own the Knicks?
Like, bro, we just lost.
We just lost to the Spurs. Why are we even talking? Like, they did a whole segment about the Spurs, and then they were like, do the Pistons own the Knicks? What? Sure, I guess they do. I don't know. I thought that was pretty weird. But, yeah.
Absolutely they do.
ESPN tonight, 7:30 for the Pistons. They'll also be back on ESPN on Friday against the Cavs. So pretty nice that they have all 3 of these games at home, of course. 3 straight nationally televised game. That one against Cleveland is going to be at 7. Okay, more stuff going on in the news. We did a college basketball thing earlier, but the whole big story, negative-wise, for college basketball this year, because it's been an awesome year, by the way, for the NCAA men's side. Charles Bediako and all these guys that have been coming back into the NBA. Well, Bediako got denied and got kicked off of the Alabama team, essentially, like 2 weeks ago. He tried again. He was like, let me try again to come back.
Give me a
Which
different
at some
judge.
point, this guy, just insane loser behavior. You've already been denied. Just accept your fate, dude. Like, go do something else. Well, he got denied again by a different judge. So I think he's officially not going to come back. The Amari Bailey stuff, the guy that did play in the NBA, went to UCLA, and then is trying to come back. I know Grand Canyon University had him on a visit. A couple other teams had as well. That has not really developed into anything yet, and I feel like we're so late into the season now where it's like...
what are we talking about?
I mean...
We have tournament games in like 2 weeks.
Conference tournaments start after next week. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's 3 or 4 games left for every school. So, there's no shot that he comes back. But, yeah, good stuff from the NCAA, or at least this judge, to not allow Bediako to come back to try to save an Alabama team that hasn't been doing so hot.
It's a win for the good guys.
Speaking of old guys in college, though, at least I get Bediako's not that old, but old guys... Virginia quarterback Chandler Morris files a lawsuit against the NCAA seeking his 7th year of eligibility. Is there ever going to be a resolve to any of this? Because obviously, I mean, I don't know about Chandler Morris. You don't either. We don't know his story. But I just mainly wanted to use this as just a way to talk about this again. Like, is this ever going to be solved?
What, the 7th year of eligibility?
All of it. Like,
No.
is there
It's a
ever
mess.
going to be a rule put in place about this? Or are we too focused on, should there be 18 teams that make the playoff or 40? You know, are we too worried about that?
I think the NCAA is at a point where they're so far removed from what normal is that this is now the new normal, and there's just no going back. Now they can move forward and it can become something different, but the NCAA They've lost it. They completely lost grips as to what reality is supposed to be when it comes to college sports.
Yeah, I just can't believe it. We'll see if any more of these older guys get more years of eligibility. But it's like even, I think I talked to you about this a while ago, but some of my friends would text me in the MSU games and be like, does Jackson Kohler, can Carson Cooper, can these guys get another year?
Probably.
I don't know. Like I don't even know the answer, and I'm so tapped into the college basketball scene.
I think there should be a hard cap. You cannot play collegiate sports if you're 25 years old. Even if you turn 25 in the middle of the season. Sorry, pal, you're done.
That'd be funny. Just like dude turns 25 before the conference championship game or something.
Well, it keep players. It just go away, man. Go do something with your life. You're 25. I think it prevent players from playing at the beginning of the year too if they know they can't finish the season. So that's what I would do. The eligibility thing, the age, how many years someone gets, whatever. Just make it a hard cut of like, dude, no playing college sports that's 6 years removed from when most players graduate from high school.
Yeah.
There's no reason you need to. 24 is, so there's no reason you need to be 25 playing in college athletics, any sport.
Just go dominate your local rec league, man.
Yes.
Like you'll get your fulfillment there. Okay, Cowboys, they just got to have contract disputes with everybody. Kicker contract disputes. This is pretty new. Brandon Aubrey is seeking a larger deal from the Cowboys, and apparently the gap between what he wants and what the Cowboys are willing to pay him, because they do want to keep him, is like incredibly substantial.
Like $13 million?
This
like
is unreal.
Scooble difference?
I don't know if it's that big, but like the kicker, bro, you're having it like you.
This guy has
it's
every right to
ridiculous.
want to be the highest paid kicker in the league, by the way. Every single right.
Best kicker and he's one of those guys that Cam Little broke the record and Fairbairn hit this many 60.
Give me Aubrey.
Aubrey's the best kicker in the league, and I think everybody believes that.
Yeah, I'm with you. It helps that he plays inside, but I'd just take him regardless.
But yet, the Cowboys don't want to pay him because they have everything else going on with George Pickens and this and that. Didn't we do did we do this on the show when we said like what would Brandon Aubrey, what is his trade value? Like if he were to get traded?
If I was the Cowboys, I wouldn't give up.
I would ask for a first round pick from a
Seriously, with these new rules where you start out on the 35, you have to pick up 2 first downs and you're in this guy's field goal range. Like, I wouldn't trade him for a second round pick.
I don't think I would either. Yeah, like,
and then you just jump into the carousel of having no idea who your kicker is.
Right.
Like, no, you got an X factor kicker. I wouldn't trade him for anything.
Obviously, no team would trade a first round pick for him. But then you think about it from the Cowboys' perspective. Like you said, I don't think I would trade him for anything less than a first round pick. It sounds stupid, but like, he's that valuable. It's so weird to think about it.
I agree.
It's a good conversation. Okay, last thing in the news. Yesterday, obviously, we're continuing to follow spring training, and with Kevin McGonigal, he's hit 190 homers or something like that in spring training so far.
Oh.
Well, the top prospect in baseball, Connor Griffin of the Pirates, he had a crazy debut in their spring training. He hit 2 home runs in the same game against the Red Sox. This guy's been widely touted as for sure the best prospect in baseball, mainly for his defensive and he's a 5-tool type of player. But the bat has been pretty hot so far, too. So hopefully Kevin McGonigal can start to wow a little bit throughout spring training, because we're like a month away from the actual season starting off.
Isn't that crazy?
It's so
just
weird
like
to think
that.
about.
We're back. And then we get 6 months of baseball, and then it goes away forever. Shut down.
You've been seeing they've been rocking the alt jerseys, too, in spring training.
I don't think they've worn their standard jerseys yet.
I think they've just only rocked the navy and orange, yeah. They've been wearing the orange hats, though, with the orange.
Yeah, I didn't think that was part of the wardrobe.
It's not. It's just a spring
training.
training thing. And I'm like, dude, I want, those hats look clean with those jerseys. I want those.
The orange on orange, that might be a little too much.
Might be a little bit too much orange. You're right. Okay, that's it for the news.
All right, we got 2 traditions to close out every show. Try to make some money, try to predict some things. Those are all coming up here on the other side of this break. Before we go to that break, got to tell you about our friends over at Maple Hill Nursery. When the seasons change, Maple Hill Nursery is hard at work for you. They offer professional snow plowing to keep your driveway clear, plus spring and fall cleanup to get your yard looking its best year-round. When things warm up, mowing services keep your lawn in tip-top shape all summer long. From winter to spring, fall and summer, Maple Hill Nursery is your all-season lawn and landscape partner right here in Midland.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, 989-837-6125. We got two traditions to close out every single show. The first of those, trying to make some money. Didn't get off to a great start to the week. That's okay. We're bouncing back. It's our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I need your help, Kyle, man. I've struggled the first 2 days of this week. You weren't here yesterday.
I mean,
And we're losing by the skin of our teeth on. But get this. We've lost by a single point on basketball spreads 2 of the last 3 picks.
Yeah, and Wemby 25 points. What did he even have in that game?
21, I want to
Yeah,
say.
like it was
Total
it was close.
Stat padding by the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, and also, yeah, like you said, yesterday you lose by a point. You had the Cavs -6 when they won by 5.
Yep.
Going with the max in play when I'm gone, like,
I was thinking about you.
man, like that feels great, man. Like, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
But of course, Miami, Ohio, disappointing as hell, undefeated. Who cares? Yeah, man, today's a big one. Luckily, you do have, like, stuff is back. You know, NBA full back in swing. You can go to the NHL if you want.
I will.
You're gonna get you're gonna have some really good college basketball opportunity here coming up with conference tournaments. There's gonna be games on like during the day, every day, and all across tournaments. You could go to like the Big Sky next week if you wanted to for a conference tournament game.
Sure,
you're gonna have those options, you know. Or you could just go to.
I'm just gonna do the NBA.
NBA.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm just gonna do that. I really like my pick today. I got the Spurs. What did I get the spread at? Was it 6.5 or 7?
7.5.
7.5. I just like the Spurs in general big tonight against the Raptors for a couple reasons. So, you know the Lamar NFC stat where he's 25-5 versus the NFC, and the theory is like you just don't get to prepare for him or see him, and then you get on the field with him, and yeah, the Lions did beat him, and you get on the field with him, and it's just like you can't really. He just shocks you. I think there might be a case with that happening with Victor Wembanyama in the Eastern Conference. Right now, this year, he's 15-3 against the East. 15-3. Raptors, they've got one 7-foot guy, Pirtle. He's day-to-day, so he might not even play. Their next tallest guy in the rotation is 6'9", and they only have one of those players. A lot of athleticism, a lot of wings that are like 6'8", 6'7", but they don't have a ton of tall guys. This is the problem the Pistons ran into. They just don't have the vertical size to hang in there with Wemby by any means. So I think the Spurs are going to win big tonight, especially with the Raptors off the back-to-back loss yesterday to the Thunder.
Right, but are they going to lose back-to-back games?
I don't think the Raptors are that good.
What's up with both us and the Raptors just getting the Spurs and the Thunder back-to-back games? Like, that's tough.
It's a road trip for both teams.
It's tough, man. Oh, man, this is a hard one because, like, the Spurs are coming off a huge win against the Pistons. Do they kind of lollygag a little bit? Like, yeah,
there
we
is
own
no
this
lollygagging
league.
with the San
true.
Antonio
He tried
Spurs.
really hard in the All-Star game. That's right.
You cannot get that guy to lollygag.
Fine, I'll tail it. Fine.
Okay, appreciate you, man, my guy. Wemby, stat patter a little bit. Are we starting this narrative? I'm willing to.
Okay, let's hear it.
It exists.
I'll hear it out.
Well, just like the game, like it was one of those awkward situations where it's like the Spurs are up by 10, 11, 9 in the last 3 minutes of the game. And like, yeah, you're like holding your fingers, crouching your fingers for like a Tracy McGrady situation, 13 points in 30 seconds. But like, you know, the fate is written. Who's the number one guy on the floor that's making sure he's now he's all of a sudden attacking the rim. He didn't really do this in the first chunk of the game, and when he was missing. Now it's all of a sudden like, get out of my way. I'm dunking the ball 3 times here and getting to the foul line in the last 3 minutes of this game as much as possible. His best stretch offensively in the entire game was the last 3 minets of the game.
I think
when it
we
was
can't,
already over.
We can't like praise him for being a tryhard, but then also be like he's a stat patter. Like we either like hate him for both or love him for both.
I love him. I just, when I'm in the building and rooting for the other team who are a 1 seed and they're a 2 seed, it was pissing me off. Like, there was a lot of standing up for me, like hitting my chest. Come on, Wemby. You don't want any of this. I found a way to hate him for a couple hours, but I love the guy.
I mean, they were basically just mauling him too the whole game, so that was kind of like fun to watch.
It was
I
incredible.
couldn't believe how much the refs were like not calling fouls on it for a while.
Well, yeah, but then
I mean, the
Wemby
Pistons
made it
were
all
just
about
The
himself.
Pistons were just harassing him, bro. It was crazy.
They were doing tight end chip blocks on him
Yeah.
every chance they had, and I don't
Even
mean
Cade,
like bumping
Cade
him.
was doing it too. Like Asar was just grabbing him. Like it was wild.
And I don't mean tight end chip blocks like they bumped him. I mean they were like, pause, but they were like, I can't even say anything without it sounding kind of weird. So I'm just gonna not say it. Yeah, they were hitting him really hard.
Pause.
What was that?
Pause.
I don't know what that is.
Pause.
That's
Okay.
James Harden saying pause.
Oh, that's hard to make out. Okay,
Make out.
that is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Okay, our second tradition is to predict what Colin Cowherd opens with. He takes over airwaves at noon, Fox Sports Radio, The Herd. John and I had a little exhibition yesterday. I'm not even sure who won. You and I back in action now.
Yeah,
I believe it's your turn to go first.
I have to give out an apology to all the people who are a fan of my side here on guessing Colin's Open. That was the main reason why I didn't come in yesterday, because I had the worst guess for guessing Colin's Open ever on Monday. I said he wasn't going to lead with the Team USA hockey thing. Just the worst pick ever to go with LeBron and whatever the heck I picked. So yeah, it's 46-39. Ben picked up a point on Monday. We're back today. I believe it's my turn again to go first. Yes, it is.
Yeah, but
Why
would you get two in a row if yesterday's doesn't count for
because
any scores?
it's the evens and odds. It's the best way for me to keep track.
Okay.
If it was if there was a better way, then I would do it a different
Seems
way.
like you're finessing the system by skipping the
Right. What if I just
certain
quit
days.
coming every day that it was your turn to go first?
Yeah, that'd be unfortunate.
No, yeah, that would be. Okay, so what's he going to lead with today? Psh, I have no clue, man. I got no clue what he's going to lead with today. The Lakers lost last night, and like
embarrassing
it was
way.
pretty weird. Yeah, Luka just didn't shoot it when he was open, and he just threw it to LeBron, and that didn't make a lot of sense. So like, I feel like if I went with the Lakers on Monday, I got to just go back-to-back Lakers here. So sure, I'll go Lakers.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad pick.
I don't really know what else is the pick. Yeah, probably something randomly NFL.
Something out of the combine. There could be a Vikings
Yeah,
situation.
so I was watching tape.
There could be a Mendoza situation. You know what I'll go? I'll go number one pick in basketball. Debanza versus
Ooh, there you
Peterson.
go.
What's going on there?
Right, Debonsa playing last night, had a really good game. Didn't matter.
That's where I'll go with. Because like you said, it's kind of hard to just pull something out of your butt these days. So,
But it seems
that's
like
what I'll go
it's
with.
definitely a hot topic right now. You know, the top.
Debanza, Peterson, Boozer.
Yeah, I think it's like gaining a lot of steam right now. So
Yeah, I'll go the trio of those three guys.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a pretty. Yeah, I'll give you that one for sure.
Fantastic.
I do got to ask you something, by the way.
What's up?
So was that like a bit yesterday when you didn't know how to say Munich, Germany?
Munich.
You said Moonish and said, I think I'm saying that right. There's no way that was real, right? That had to have been a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit.
Good. I was tossing you a bone there.
Thanks.
I was listening and I was just like, there's no way he's being serious, right?
Yeah, that in Paris, right?
Right, yeah. Right, yes.
Appreciate everybody for listening today. We'll be back tomorrow, run it all back. We'll have a Pistons Spurs game to recap, or Pistons Thunder game to recap. Should be a good time. 9 o'clock, don't miss it. Like and subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss out. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Just search the Ben Bosscher Show or Sports